Longhouse, though.
Afro and Lucky will lean in first and foremost here with their USPs to try and prod around the backstab. A lot of up-top mid presence here for the X-Mad Lions. Flash forward and one man has been spotted. Two to swing and Morrow will draw first blood. Afro down. Lucky still waiting for contest here. The P250s will tap on towards him and try driving back. That man advantage maintain his heat, try and reinsert themselves.
There's just aggression everywhere. And I think X-Mad Lions are getting a pretty good read on this. Jocko out from the stairs, has to catch off Buzz, and indeed he does. He can go back out towards a B site, and now X-Mad Lions are getting pace in from mid, and Body gets overwhelmed.
Now Jocko stands alone, isolated on the B site with them all to find. Backup will try and get here, but being suppressed back at CT spawn. Jocko at least finds that one frag, needs to make it a double. That's exactly what he does. Triple onto Red Star. He's recovered the round on his lonesome, but now it's up to the star of the X-Mad Lions side. Warrow getting his triple in, reducing it to a 1v1. USP also picked up for a directive challenge on Lucky. The bomb is on the site and it can get planted here.
Thinking he's a little bit closer towards that door position, get the bomb down, allow the extra security. So much time to work with. Now, there was a kit close towards that door's position, so at least Lucky can go over and pick it up.
Warrow's being careful. He wants to go ahead for this fight. No inkling, no idea. I set. Check the mid position. Oh. Did he see him? He's got an idea, checking mid just in case. Sees him now. That's a shoulder, but Lucky still peeks for the shot and still wins the pistol for Heat.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe Lucky actually comes out of that. Warrior 2K had the idea, had the approach and the angle too, but not quite that finishing blow. What an effort that was from Jocko towards the bomb side. Without him getting as much as he did, that round would not have even been possible. Warrior is on for the quadra, does not quite get the 1v2 forward, and Heat start things off with the pistol.
Jocko was the hero of that round for me, though. What a start from both sides. Heat bringing the thunder, X-Mad Lions. Now with the rifles picked up against the force buy, they'll go. Afro starts things off against JL. Red Star with the Deagle down against the man. A 4-on-4 immediately. Warrior has his eyes set as Red Star fires away with a scout. 3 players spotted. That's information gain for the T side line. Of course, suppressed out of the A bomb site, but the man advantage and HP advantage tipping towards their favor.
Now starting to regroup. They realize they can't keep fighting. Even Jocko's got to be careful about overextending out from the lower tunnels. Deals that first. The trade is in there quickly. And now Buzz has got to be the main man of the hour.
Well, Red Star's extremely low, so it's got to be all in this AK, and it falls, leaving Red Star on 3 HP. 1 per player he has to clutch against. We'll find Lucky at least, but that bomb's been dropped in mid, and he have the crossfire set.
Just knowing that he was so low, out from that car take, makes it so much more difficult in the clutch. And for Exercise and Body, just play the crossfire, allow themselves to peek off one another, and there should be no way the Bulgarian can make anything happen. He might think about a massive big wrap and go out towards the B site and go right down behind them.
40 seconds. On the way back out as the M4 gets picked up for Exercise. For Marcin, for Body will be there on the crossfire towards that short control. And time slowly running out on Red Star. He's trying to use as much of it as possible as he checks each corner, looks towards the mid doors at the Xbox. 15 seconds, they dive away from contact here in the mid control, and that leaves Red Star with no further time to try and get these fights and win them, so best to save the AK. Could get hunted back here against Body. Oh, AK shot. He loses life easily in that particular fight. 2-0 now for Heat.
Couple of whiffs in the opening few rounds from X-Mad Lions. Hopefully that doesn't affect them too much there. Decent attempt out to the long take, but as soon as Jocko is getting aggressive, and perhaps Jocko's maybe a guy we could be keeping an eye out for on Dust 2J. The highest rated player for Heat on this map, averages a 1.17 rating in the last 3 months across 12 maps played. Always aggressive, always looking to try and take map control away over towards that B site, and so far he's found a lot of impact.
Impact on a Heat start of things. 2-0 for them in this early part of the map. We mentioned the missteps of Mad Lions. Out of the deco here in round 3. They can do with the hand cannons in the upper tunnels control. That's smoking initiative to suppress them, so no contact on the B site.
Keep an eye on that economy float, though, from Heat, Jay. It is very limited as of right now. And for this eco, even a few picks can make a big difference come the next rifle round.
Burst through from Afro and Jocko. Kills found on Red Star and Buzz. Even more damage done to JL and TMB. Suppression held for the time being. Smokes will go down. Lucky will have his eyes set on X-Mad Lions. Slow the whole thing down. Lose Warrior 2K in this and the bomb as well.
X-Mad Lions got pumped on Dust 2 last time around from HEET, so you could be looking at it as an interesting pick in this best of 3, but then you also have a look at something like Ancient, and HEET got pumped on that as well. So the last head-to-head had a lot of oddities when it came to the map score lines.
And these sides have faced off against each other in the past. Only one best of 3 on record a couple months ago. That was HEET taking the victory. You mentioned the odd scoreline, 16-3 one way, 16-3 the other way, then 16-7 to HEET to close out the series.
Must be known, too, with the 16-3s, that was on each other's map picks for the winner. But even that is more odd, that you get so much of a one-sided scoreline when you don't even pick the map.
Dust 2 was also played out as the third one in that series, so the first one out on this occasion. Seeing whether HEET can replicate the situation. So far, so good for them. And Afro and Body can keep the trades going towards their favor, up towards that top of tunnels area. It's a 4-on-3 for HEET.
Very positive right now from HEET, executing their game plan to perfection. A lot of aggression again towards the upper tunnels, but there could be a timing for JL.
Body set, sees the gun barrel, takes his fight. 2 more to line up, but he might just get them both. Runs out of ammo in the end. Warrior's Orb can strike back on 2 players, switch out to the AK and the Molotov, sent down to the doors, and the bomb plant should be secured.
This can still be on. It's Warrior in the clutch. We know how strong he is.
Heard the footsteps, the nades coming in. Try and look towards those B doors position, look towards CT Spawn, especially wrap over. Catching exercise as he walks out with his side turned to the doorway. And now one-on-one, Warro needs to find Lucky, closing in slowly but surely. The M4 looking around, Warro checking the tunnels, looking left and right, sees the shadow right there and pre-fires, but once again, Lucky will win the fight.
This has now been pretty much 3 rounds, Jay, where clutches have come through. You think back to that first one, 1v1 from Lucky and Warro. The next round, it came close, Body nearly fell, that almost went into a clutch situation. Now we're even looking at that last round and thinking, geez, it is getting so down to the wire when HEET had a 4v1. They had a massive advantage out to that B site, and Warro still nearly comes through, but the clutches have not been landed just yet for the X-Mad Lions.
Such a shame as well, because Warro has had 2 chances to make that happen. Not to be in the end, though. Losing out control, losing out the first 4 rounds of the game. Small tech pause as well to solve a sound issue. Apparently, Warro wasn't playing with any sound in that last round, so credit to him for almost winning the clutch anyway. Obviously needs to get fixed for the long-term game, so we'll let him do that. As HEET start to figure out their buy here. And the cool part about the clutch situation here, at least for the X-Mad Lions side, is the fact that they are going to limit the economy state of HEET. A lot of the savings are going to have to be used to get back into this round. Won't be within reset positions. But that damage will start to hurt HEET.
And knowing that HEET, could be said, shouldn't have even been here in the quarterfinals against the Masonic side. A lot of people would say one of the weakest teams in the entire round of 8 in those quarterfinals. We're down 12-15 on Nuke. Managed 3 rounds in a row to get it over to OT, to just get it over the line, to go double OT to win that best of 3 series. I think we saw in quite a few of the quarterfinals and even the playoff round 1 games, a lot of really decisive maps going right to the edge.
Could well be the same in this case, or the complete opposite as history has turned to. Looking out for those players and seeing who's going to hold their own. Jocko's currently top fragging, and his headshot percentage has definitely aided him in that particular front of things. 10 kills deep in this map so far. The M4 in his hands is Afro's AWP that strikes first. Warro down, and so's Buzz.
Both AWPs trying to come through from HEET, and even with that in play, Body gets aggressive up towards top mid. This could be Red Star getting caught off guard.
Body certainly wants to seem so. Flash over, Red Star caught looking the wrong way, but the spray is so awkward there from the M4. Flashes will go over for JL, try to see if he can force out another good fight against the man, but he's made his way towards suicide. Wraparounds will try and look for more. Even the AK can even get picked up for him, some extra firepower. Lucky holds the line and waits for the contact to come through towards long.
Oh, good spam though. Knew that he's out towards that car position, and now Body wants to try and strike, but there's still a top mid player, and now JL's found the return. This was a 5-on-3 for HEET.
Over aggression coming in real hard for the CT side. The AWP is fair enough. That M4 probably a little bit too overzealous. Red Star caught looking the wrong way against Exercise's swing, but JL still deals with him. Now Afro close with the Deagle, AWP on his back. Jocko repositioning towards the short control. TMB not seen. JL able to cross pretty effectively. Red Star with a re-smoke down as well to get him to cross the same. Flashover evaded as Afro continues prodding the nade onto the bomb site. Should do some damage, but probably not get the kills. Now Afro's revealed his position here.
Being forced out to the open. The nade is very good. It denies the bomb for a moment, but there's still time to work with, and TMB wants to get aggressive.
Diving in against Afro, one-on-one against Jocko, needs the headshot. Jocko ducks out of the way, knows that bomb is on the A site. TMB needs to get back there with only 20 seconds remaining. Get towards that CT spawn and done quite an amount of repositioning here for the T-side line. Taps forward, trying to dish out some damage. The AWP's picked up instead. Looking for Jocko. The flick doesn't land. 10 seconds. Jocko knows to hide. No further UT will re-peek and get the M4 headshot that just about holds the round together for the CTs.
I can't imagine Heat are happy about this. Yeah, they're up 5-0. It's come down to 3 1vx's so far. And even in this round, I look at it and think, why is Body aggressing that far forward towards top mid? They have a 2-man advantage. Afro and Lucky got picks with the orbs, and look at how quickly they're answering back. And while you could look at it from the scoreline perspective, Jay, and say, oh, this is a slow start from XMad Lions, they are literally 1 round away from coming right back into this.
Absolutely. So I wonder why they didn't focus more on that longhouse position. Afro's orb is caught out in the open. He misses that first shot into the long control. Very fast round in from XMad Lions. Flashes will stall them for the time being, but A looks to be the commitment here.
Body's going to have to try and make a play, get a flash forward from one of the teammates, span through, light damage being done so far.
Nade in the hands of one towards short. The boost up for the AWP of Lucky will look over. Body catches a kill, but now the incendiaries burn and Lucky will end up dropping the AWPs out of play. JL tagged heavily. Red Star playing behind those smokes will cross to get the bomb down on the site itself. Exercise tank and damage as Bottle that short control. It's chaos, but it's controlled by XMad Lions.
Body's just stuck in this elevator position. Can't really get much support from any of a teammate. And XMad Lions know exactly where he is. It's only a matter of timing until Body has to swing out to the open.
Taps forward, Buzz falls, JL with a trade, Jocko with an instant responsive. 2-on-2, but Red Star turns back to a 2-on-1. His Body revealing his position, jump facing, and now hunting for the last 2 T-side members. Is aware of Red Star, unaware of Warrow, who will just hold the line back here towards long. The jump faces continue, and the damage keeps coming in against Body. Flash in, Warrow is seen, but Warrow lands his headshot anyway, and picks up the first round for XMad Lions.
And now you wonder for Heat, do they force buy? Because you've got Afro and Body near that double eco status. There is not a massive amount of money to work with at all, and this is the reset that XMad Lions are hoping for. Whether Heat decide to go in for the force buy or not is another opportunity. Great long take out of the gates, and it does seem like it's going to be the force. This is the chance now for XMad Lions to start getting at least rounds in a row on the T side.
And the force invest for Heat, seeing Deagles and Scouts losing out to the sniper battle to Warrior's Orb. Quick in from the Deagles, still kind of fight on towards Red Star. Buzz down in pit is also dealt with by Body, despite him having the jump against the CT player. Rifle in his hands, the Deagle of Exercise still strikes, and Body is now left alone, isolated, with that Jocko being all the way down to the tunnels here. The flashbangs against him surely should fall, indeed he will.
This map is everything that I hoped it would be, Jay. Just an absolute scrap fest on Dust 2. Fights being so chaotic out towards a longhouse, and even Warriors watching that backstab. Jocko's going to get caught off guard. 2 rounds in a row now for XMad Lions, and you have to imagine Heat are thinking to themselves, okay, if we would have been a little bit more sensible with maybe not over-peaking in those 4v1 situations, those 5v3s, we could have had more economy on our bank, we could have actually applied some more pressure, and now for XMad Lions, this is an opportunity for them to start growing, start farming up money on the T side.
USP is out for Heat, will now be the chance for them to stack up on the XML side. Mac 10 in the hands of TMB to stack the money up here. Easy frags against the majority of the CT players. Off on the B half of the map, which is where the stack is in for Heat. Already the lower tunnels player taken down, and they can just progress onto the A site from here.
TMB, how much more does he get out of this one? Nice burst so far with this Mac 10. Only gets away with a couple. Unfortunately for Heat, you're not really that happy about picking up a Mac 10.
No, not really. They have an AK then, sure. Maybe they could convert that Mac 10 into an AK if they find the killers appropriate. But less than likely, with all players having helmets on the T-side line, and well, the crossfire towards mid dismantles all of the crossing players of Heat. Third to the board of XMad Lions. They are back in the game, but Heat are back on the bye.
But just knowing that even for Warrow, the highest rating in the entire pool from him is Dust 2 and Mirage. Unfortunately, Mirage being the permaban for the Heat side, you're not going to be able to get an opportunity of that. So you think about your second best, 1.30 in the last 3 months when he plays Dust 2.
A half buy-in from the Heat side here. Not going to be the full invest.
Interesting.
Got to stack into the tunnels and mid control this time. Spread out and try find JL, try find Red Star. Evading contact against all the CT, so they are pushed up here. I believe TMB may have heard a footstep, which is why he's playing possum around here at Suicide. Gets the kill against one man. Lucky trades it, and now the tunnels player in Afro will hold his own, but the B site is not the target. A is being played towards now, body with the SMG. We're seeing utility being pulled towards his position. That molly extends towards him. Head tucked away, a smoke down from the CT side. Get a little bit of vision blocking going on. Exercises the Eagle strikes on Red Star as Lucky falls. Exercise also has the lock on the cross of the bomb. Back up here from the main T-Force. Meanwhile, a flanking from Afro could find the kill out towards Longhouse. They stall the X-Mad Lions here.
It's all a matter of timing on this CZ, trying to get into the backstab, and Warrior's going to drop two. Now Buzz really's got to deliver towards Ramp.
Known on two players. Body will now call it into his teammates. That's CZ still on the backstab. The Deagle fighting hard against JL. Lands the headshot. Buzz alone in the 1 versus 3. He gets two of them and now is well aware of where Afro is and taps his head off his shoulders. What a round from Buzz. What a clutch for X-Mad Lions. One that finally goes their way.
Lovely stuff coming through from the youngest man in the server. 19-year-old Buzz stepping up in the 1v3. And it's got to be a good feeling knowing that so far on Dust 2, you've pretty much lost every single clutch situation so far, and now when you're up against an Eco, you come through with a 1v3. What a tap this was onto that CZ, and in all honesty, out of any person in that round that looked like they were going to do the most damage, it looked to be Afro on the backstab.
Didn't do much though with that CZ, way too late to the marker. Giving up the last frag and a 1-on-3. 4 on the chop for X-Mad Lions as well. And what was looking like a pretty decent mount up for Heat has now almost disappeared. Of course, they were on the half buy in that previous round, so that is kind of fair enough. Could have been right close towards the victory and putting X-Mad Lions back down on the back foot. Now they've got a rest and a double AWP setup to do that.
They've been convincing with the double AWP setup in the past, though. We saw that one round where they got a 5-on-3. Get both of those orbs as engaged as possible. Warrior doesn't see anything onto the cross. Quite a few players into the upper tunnels. Now, he haven't gone that aggressive these last few rounds with Jocko in the upper tunnels. I wonder if that's going to change now with the AWP in play.
Lucky's thinking of prodding. Right now, he just watches the tunnel's entrance. Starts making a move forward. Red Star is watching it. The AK versus the AWP. Who catches who first? Ooh, Red Star disappears, but the crack angle is enough for Lucky's kill. And now the act towards mid comes in. Body has seen a quick shoulder bait. Catches TMB. Is he aware of Buzz? Not quite here. Smoke goes down. He tucks himself into the corner. Gets reflashed by a teammate, but Buzz can deal with it as appropriate. 2-for-1 trades in favor of Heat.
Going to slow it down. They're going to continue to prod out towards mid to B. JL should get heard. That's an easy kill for Jocko. The bomb's still up in short, though.
Warrior trying to act in towards the site, checking out the long position, checking out the car angle. And there's Buzz finding Lucky at least in middle, but Afro swings against Warrior's AWP. Caught moving, transitioning towards elbow, taps forward against the man over at short. The exercise of distraction is Afro's AWP that gets the kill. That's 6-4 on the board. Heat finally break the mad line streak.
And it just shows how much emphasis came down to Warrior getting the pick towards A. Because in a round like that, you lose Red Star really early, TMB gets a 1-for-1 trade, and then even JL gets caught with Jocko being aggressive. Buzz does as much work as possible. If this pick would have come back, I think the round could have ended up being very different. 6 up, though, for Heat, continuing to hold the lead. Need to try and see if they can work continuous with these double AWPs and make sure that they've got the economy in their side.
Incendiary set on towards Longhouse. Nades coming back with smokes to suppress here. Heat doing a decent job this time of keeping control of Long. No challenge from X-Mad Lions in the early round.
Keep in mind, Jay, we spoke about the previous head-to-head that Dust 2 was fairly one-sided as that third map decider. When X-Mad Lions played that, they got 0 rounds on their T side. So already, this is so much more of a positive than what we've seen previously.
Suppression involved for now. Much calmer kind of round by comparison to what we've seen in the past. Minute on the clock. Just that damage pouring in against JL and Warrior. No major contact that's gone against the Heat side. A little bit of mid control, but Long still seems to be the play here.
JL doesn't want to make any noise on the jump down. HE out towards a blue bin. Red Star's running.
He's dying as well. Bomb drops, rotations all get called. Gotta worry about that short control just in case. Further flashes in from Exercise. And a reflash on, dives out of the way of JL, can be traded. Now Body's got to deal with the AWP. Afro's watching it, but they're unaware of the A backstab. Oh, he turns around and does some damage, but Buzz gets the trade. Now Body stands alone, still with the bomb at his feet, and back up on the way in. Warrior trying to look around the corner here towards mid, but the flick does not connect. Jocko overwhelms him, and TMB and Buzz, last two players left, 15 seconds, can grab the bomb, but getting back to the site is pretty much impossible with the time being left here. They'll spray through, catch off Body, at least get that kill, but the CTs know they've won the round here.
Very good hold out towards that longhouse. A lot of time stalling coming through from HEET. And for XMAD Lions, they tried their best to break that setup apart. Red Star doesn't find anything. JL gets one, but it's just knowing that as soon as that bomb drops, you've really got 3 CT defenders all holding around pit and looking down into the house itself, and you're going to struggle to break the trades. Yeah, the A-side players did well. You saw Buzz catching off Afro, but you needed the time. You needed the AWP of Warrior to really find that connection, and it doesn't quite come through. HEET, they've put up a sound performance so far on their CT side.
The force invest for XMAD Lions sees the AWP and the AK being the only 2 upgrade rifles. A Galil also in for JL. The Eagle on 2 others. Set into the tunnels control. Warrior tagged to 17 very early on. Flashes over from Lucky. Trying to lean in towards mid-control alongside the secondary AWP, and Warrior is going to pay for it.
Warrior's been punished quite a lot these last couple of rounds. Gone a little bit quiet. And now for HEET, the aggression towards the lower tunnels is working out against the buy. XMAD Lions just brute forcing the mid-control now.
Oh, spray from TMB, catching 2 players, tagged heavily, but Lucky's AWP can clap back through the smoke. 4-on-2 situation as a result, only Body being tagged up here for the CT side. Buzz tagged for the T side line. Red Star's plenty of rifles at his feet here in the mid-control. Let's grab one of them, try and work in with the execution.
I think we've seen a change too from HEET's protocols with man advantage situations, just playing a lot more passive. Before, in the early start of this half, we saw a lot of aggression, even when they were picks up. Now I think we've started to realize that it's a little bit more deeper, play the crossfires, be more sensible, because you know the XMAD Lions are one of those teams that can punish you for that. We saw it in the Eternal Fire game, how many times they were recovering 4v5s.
No recovery from that position here, a 2v4 recovery instead. Buzz not quite as lucky as Lucky is. Red Star left alone. And mid-control, trying to save onto the AWP, making noise for it though. They know where he is, and the CTs might go hunting. Not an after-time kill, but a kill nonetheless against the Mad Lions side that brings HEET up to 8. And that 4-round streak that we saw from the T side, that is about all that they've gained so far here. Really awkward stuff from XMAD Lions. They felt confident for their initial run, but they've been the ones with the round advantage here.
They've been doing very well in this first half, and just knowing how much success we're getting from Afro with that AWP, how many times across all maps in the series is, he's finding opening man advantages and just working off the back of it, even back towards the longhouse. This might be a bit of a heavy contention.
What are you thinking of the swing? The pistols wrap over. TMB caught first and foremost, and Body will try back up. Made onto the longhouse to suppress them. Escape towards the site itself. The T's working their way inland towards the short control. One man of JL leading the charge. Not much resistance up there from HEET.
And this is where XMAD Lions would love to have one of these steal rounds. One of them that's come out of nowhere with a couple of upgrades. Body's been seen in mid, seeing quite a lot of the deagles in the process too.
The AK backed up here. Holding the cross down. Buzz trying to lean into the lower tunnels control. We'll start the fall back and try to regroup up and into the short position. 60 seconds left, and the T's will go for the A hit.
Even Afro, perfectly timed with that incendiary. That's just going to slow for furthermore and actually buy Body a rotate to defend out from ramp 2.
3 players in total to defend here. Afro and Body don't even need the third man. The crossfire locks. Body gets a triple in that sequence, a quadra in the round. And 9-4 on the board for HEET. They're starting to run away with the CT side.
And this is always something that we have concerns of with XMAD Lions, is if some of the individuals start running out of steam, if we're not getting that chaotic trading, some of the X-Factor moments, some of the clutches coming through, which obviously have not in the past. You only had that one from Buzz. That's when XMAD Lions can potentially be outclassed by some of the more highly structured teams, and class teams that we've got left in the event. Fast play out towards Longhouse again. They're trying to the acceleration.
TMB, Molotov's in, the CT side spraying through the smokes. Afro trying to look at the edge of the smoke itself, but body's got him marked. TMB picked up, no one else left in the Longhouse position. Jocko swings out from upper tunnels and gets JL on the alert play. Meanwhile, the main T side force works their way up the short control. Needs to go for the 8th hit from here. In a 3-on-5 scenario, though, and the AWP is watching them.
Jocko is just such an annoying player to play against on Dust 2. Just always finding a timing to aggress in towards the upper tunnels. He's found so many picks, and now for XMAD Lions, they want to force a fight. They want to force an over-rotation, anything to recover this round.
Look at Jocko, though, all the way up towards T-Spawn. The ultimate backstab in from the CT side. All over the map. XMAD Lions are not going to find an avenue of escape. Red Star not seen the edge of that smoke. Body thinks he might not be there. He took an earlier shot, didn't get a tag for it. We'll get him now. Red Star pops out, is dealt with. Jocko now closing out the pincers to the short control. Both players seen. Warrior with 1 pick. That's as far as he goes, though. Afro lands a double, and it's 10-4 for the Heat side.
And this has to be one of the most convincing halves I think we've seen from Heat so far in the competition, of course, being invited into those quarterfinals. We saw them up against Masonic, and in a series like that, Jay, it was competitive. It was very close. There weren't many early leads from them. There weren't really one-sided affairs for the most part. Now you start looking at a 10-4, potential of an 11-4. The Frenchman coming very prepared on Dust 2.
XMAD Lions' pick may fall out of favor, at least for this first half. Galil's in, AK on TMB only. A buy, but not much of one, unfortunately. Rotates into the tunnels for the time being for the T side, looking for that BXE.
Even Exercise and Jocko holding down. There's still another smoke to work with. There's a slight bait setup that Jocko's going to pull the distraction off, allow Exercise with the run out for them just to commit. It seems like it could be the full-on BXE or a fake.
Lashes in, the smoke's up. Suppression initially from the CT side. Decent nades in as well to make XMAD Lions second guess themselves about this execution. 3 players out here, so it's certainly going to be a difficult one.
Knowing that it's stacked up, you always do not want that when you're going in for a B-side XE. That late lurk towards short for TMB, that's got to drive a distraction.
Oh, the lineup for Jocko gets 2. Red Star trades it back. Now the AWP alongside Exercise to remove Red Star. Next, looking for the double up. Warrior being seen, dealt with the same. Last man of TMB in mid control. I think Body's aware. Flashed in, checking the doors. The Incendiary comes out the driving out to the open. There's the spray. There's the kill. There's 11-4 at the half for Heat.
Very class coming through from Heat. Setups were very impactful across that. You saw so many AKs being saved in for multiple rounds in that first, and it just showed how much damage that could find. The consistent prodding from Jocko around the upper tunnels, the consistent man advantage situations too. For Heat, they've got an opportunity of really wrapping this first map up.
In effective fashion at that. Especially when you've got players up at 17 on the likes of the Heat side. Whereas top fragger for X-Mad Lions, but you mentioned top fragger in the server is where he should be aiming, where X-Mad Lions will need him to be. He's set towards the short control and the pistol round as the teams make their way into the B site via tunnels. Red Star standing ready to receive. JL on the outside of the site will provide support when the XE comes in.
Plenty of util here for HEET. They could put that molly out towards the back of the site. Red Star's just got to get one and try and stall for time.
Smoke down towards the B doors. Quick rush out from all 5 individuals. The crossfire trying to get locked on. JO and Exercise, the players do get tagged up first, but Red Star with the opening kill against Jocko. Afro and Body combine against the man to a 4-on-4 with the bomb plant.
Even that HE placement's very good. Exercise is going to fall. They're just rushing into window.
Afro so close, needs to get this kill against TMB, and they're all out of window. They've all been seen. Buzz gets that one trip, he's dead out of ammo, but so's Afro. Waro overwhelmed by Body, caught on the reload as the pistol goes the way of HEET.
Oh my goodness, another 1vx situation. This is 4 clutches being won from HEET in the entire map so far. Sometimes we get 4 clutches in an entire series, Jay, let alone 16 rounds.
Disastrous to say the least for them, because X-Mad Lions could have had all sorts of control. Much closer affair here at the turn of the half, and right now leaning into the pistol basis had they won it. As it stands, the Eagles scouts out against the rifles brought in by HEET. 2 AKs this time.
And that's both of the veteran players of HEET stepping up in pistol clutches. Think back to round 1, that was lucky against Waro. Now you've got another situation there in which Body is able to come through from the back of the window position. Just shows how that experience can really come through in some of the clutch scenarios. HEET, a few more to go. And for X-Mad Lions, they'll be desperate to get a pick in here. Try and recover one of those weapons. Bring quite a few players down to the mid doors as well.
Can rotate to the A retake or the A defensive if necessary. Of course, the short control indicates that's going to end up being the case. So the right read, the right call for X-Mad Lions for now. Scout damage done onto Afro, swing onto Waro, tagging up Body the same. Flash is sent over as Exercise closes the distance between the CT and T sides. The Scout still firing to do some damage. TMB strikes first. Waro's going to be supporting the assistance here. Buzz and TMB getting all the picks against the T side. They're down to 2, they're down to 1, they're down to none. X-Mad Lions' Force Buy will somehow come out on top.
And what's insane to think about is how many tags that Scout gets, but yet all the Deagles are headshots. All of those kills, pretty much all of them, come through of just instant bangs. The majority from Buzz playing out to that car position, very good tag damage, and just repositioning right there from X-Mad Lions. They had so many players to defend up to that A side, and for HEET, they just got trapped hardcore in that round.
Locked out of the site itself, could only make it so far as Elbow. Fast rush in from the upgrade pistols, of course, forced by the double eco status, and they will overwhelm Buzz initially, the first M4 to fall. Now into TMB will suppress them with the smokes down at the corner. The T's will hold their line.
X-Mad Lions on a 4-map winning streak at Dust 2. That's the last thing they want to break. Give that over to the HEET side. So it's the answer back. It's the force buy in. And JL wants to get aggressive.
Fire thrown over. Damage somehow done to JL. Exercise tanks a lot more back. And now the Molotovs, the Galils, they'll combine for the CT side to remove the main T side, force them out of blue bins. Jocko will make his way onto the B side, recognize it's completely open and can buy the rotation space for Exercise here. Out towards mid will be the bad call for the M4, but he can get the bomb plant at least.
Jocko, important frag needs to be landed onto Red Star, doesn't quite happen. And now I wonder, does this bomb even cross or does it get tagged up?
Shots ringing out from the Scout, but it doesn't quite land, so Exercise will get that bomb plant in.
Ooh,
Needs to secure it. Oh, he missed it. He tapped it once. And he does get a kill for it, somehow, some way. Tap again to try and isolate JL, but he won't get that second kill. He not messed up the first attempt at the plant. It would have been a bomb plant bonus for HEET as it stands, though, double eco. So no pistols, or no upgrade pistols, rather, into this round.
They might have even tried a force buy once again if that bomb plant went down, if they got the extra cash injection, but they opt against it. And now you start realizing the potential that X-Mad Lions could have. We've obviously seen how streak-heavy this map has been so far. The fact that there's just been no back-and-forth rounds, other than obviously the pistol being won by the Frenchman and then answered back by the mix. From really the first half, it was just streaks, and we definitely saw not a lot of retakes from HEET either. A lot of rounds where X-Mad Lions even struggled to get to bomb sites. Start strengthening up that economy, keep AKs in play, try and get the AWP over to Waro. And we could have a very exciting Dust 2 on our hands.
Could indeed. The pistol only gained by HEET. X-Mad Lions starting to stack up their round 6 to go to equalize. Not that far gone, especially with the pistols out for HEET again. Harsh eco into round 19. Round 20 will be where the guns come through for them. Red Star leaning in first here with the Galil on his back. Hunting for the T-side players up towards that top of tunnels angle, but no resistance. To flash in to get to the site, try to get a plant.
Very defensive coming through from X-Mad Lions. They might just be able to do so. Red Star getting quite a few picks out from the doors, just building up some more confidence from himself.
And the bomb suppressed, the backstab does get dealt with on TMB's part. JL, however, deals with Afro. Warrior comes in from the back lines alongside Buzz's kill on the doorway itself. So there you go. All players removed from the T-side line. Again, pistols v rifles. The rifles win that out. The stack up on the savings, however, from HEET will start to bite into the weapons. The AWP for Afro, the first thing to come into the round.
And we've got to imagine that HEET have got a decent T-side about them, knowing that Dust 2 is one of the highest, most picked map in the pool from them, knowing the fact that they picked it in quite a few series that got them the promotion into EPL, knowing that they've played it 12 times in the last 3 months, 9 wins, 3 losses. We're expecting some good stuff. And for Afro, pressure could be on towards long.
Seen that one man, TMB's got U2 in his hands. Afro trying to see if he can get out of dodge here. In the middle of the smoke, he'll wait the nades. The incendiary is coming down against him, and the fire won't burn against him, of course, as he is sitting inside that smoke, but the sprays and the nades will do their damage as TMB picks up Afro, and the T's are forced to vacate.
What is going on there? Now we go to the B-side. Exi going in very quickly, and they get that immediate headshot onto Red Star. Now, considering Long was brute forced in there from X-Mad Lions, it means repositioning is going to take a while to get in.
Yeah, very late smoke as well to suppress for even more time. Body's still out here. TMB is going to catch him off, take some damage, but ultimately get the pick and a man advantage here for the CT side.
They're going to go for this. It's going to take them a while, though. Getting towards those upper tunnels, they need to get a move on.
Time's ticking. Lucky hiding behind the blue box. The flash is in to allow the peek against JL. Buzz fires back to reveal his angle. There's another CT right behind him. Lucky gets yet another kill towards TMB. Buzz is AWP suppressed, as is Warrior looking for exits here. They won't be able to get the retake as HEET will get to 13. Warrior at least finds that pick on Lucky. Dives out of dodge, dives out of the way here. Land on Jocko the same. Exercise, last man remaining. Will get the exit frag onto the AWPer. And ultimately the round for HEET.
And I would imagine Red Star is frustrated there because X-Mad Lions did a very good job of isolating Afro. They put a lot of nades down. It gets quite chaotic towards the longhouse. And he just needs one. He needs one kill on that anchor to really make it happen. It doesn't come through. Even Body gets caught off by the late lurk of TMB out of the longhouse, but it's not enough. They needed Red Star to show up in a more proficient position towards B. And for HEET, even if the rounds come every so often, Jay, it's only 3 more to gain.
Oh, Warrior ready for Afro there. The jump face from the scout. Picks up the first frag. Exercise tag to 9. And the AWP of JL also strikes on Lucky. Not great here for HEET. You mentioned the AWPs to come through from X-Mad Lions will be required here on the CT side. And well, when 2 get broken out, they get 2 picks.
Get as much out of JL as possible on that hybrid, even aggress him up to look down into the lower tunnels. X-Mad Lions have got to be careful not over-peaking, because I think HEET definitely caught that when it was in the first half, and even TMB quite aggressive towards that short position once the AWP drops down. It's a pick back from HEET.
Flash is over. Red Star watching in the M4. Hoping they go for some sort of mid-aggression so he can try and punish them. Incendiary set to drive the T-side players away, though, particularly from that short angle. Smoke on as well for JL to suppress for even more time.
All about the time stalling. And for HEET, they're just going to pop flash through the smoke.
Still JL peeks in to get the kill on Body. Counter flash back as the T's charge their way forward. He refaces, but doesn't land the headshot on Jocko. Exercise now bursting forward to the AK. The Galil on Jocko will not be able to do much damage with his high HP numbers. Nades back doing minimal damage to the CT line, and the bomb is trying to cross here.
What a boost up for JL. And if Exercise aggresses any further forward to try and get long control, he'll be seen.
The rest mostly on Jocko's part here. Flash over, Exercise on site, needs a headshot first, dealt with, he gets the kill on one man, and the second, not the third, and certainly not the fourth either. HP disadvantage coming in against the man, so X-Mad Lions will take 8.
What a hybrid round coming through from someone like JL. Haven't seen much double AWPing from him over the last couple of games, but right here, he just gets immediate impact. Warrior started off, JL finds a few kills, aggressive, and then playing back passive in and around that car position, just working on the retake. Great shot onto Jocko, and then eventually that trade from Buzz to allow Exercise to fall onto the side. 8 on the board. He, even with the plant, don't really have a great economy float, so they have to half buy.
Not even that, an upgrade Deagle who clocks in for everyone else. A couple of flashbangs as well. Very light indeed. Does mean they can afford the open Exercise as part at least, and that's a guarantee. But this round should be a pretty easy one for the X-Mad Lions side, seeing what Body can do with the Deagle, and to their credit, they have got the Deagle on the right player. Top fragger in server on his own side of things. Boost up to allow the prods in from Body to look towards the short control. Nothing going to get seen, though. The CTs have progressed up mid.
He had an incredible run. Come the last Invitational, placing second in that grand final. Now looking to try and see if they can go that one step further. And knowing you're in a position like this, even at Tanico, you've got to focus down on if we want to make that next step, Jay. If we want to get to the grand finals again, we've got to be taking Dust too.
I love that jump bait there towards the Xbox position. Allow Body to peek in. But all the things they might have crossed out towards the mid control. A re-smoke on towards short has got to come through from JL. Run boost failed. Jocko is a dead man. 4 players extending out towards the site itself, though, here at short and elbow. JL lands against the bomb carrier. Buzz gets his 2 lined up, makes it a triple. A good effort there from HEET, but not to be. Bomb did not get anywhere close to the site. So now we find ourselves at 13-9. X-Mad Lions, 4 behind HEET. They've closed this gap significantly.
So what JL was trying to do there is fire the weapon further away from the door's position, because he knows that TMB fell and knows that there was probably a very good opportunity if HEET wanted to get aggressive in that door's position to recover that weapon. So just try and fire it away, make it a little bit more difficult for the taking. And you could see from HEET, they wanted to go quite aggressive to short anyway. Tactical timeout coming through from the X-Mad Lions, and this is where they've got to realize, all right, boys, knuckle down. This comeback's going to be difficult, but it's still on. Warrior taking quite a bit of opening damage down there towards that pit position. JL thinking about an aggressive start to go through the upper tunnels, ends up backing off Warrior with the AWP out towards that blue bin onto Exercise. Opening man advantage for X-Mad Lions to work with.
Somehow not dead to the pressure, and the HE's put down. Nades on towards the longhouse as well, doing damage to Lucky and Afro there. Tagged up heavy. Forced away. Flashes in to slow down the whole round here for HEET.
Even TMB's thinking about getting aggressive behind that CT smoke. Being spammed forward, though, that's a fair bit of damage. And Body's looking in for that trade. TMB's got to be careful. He gets away with one.
Jocko with an instant response. 4-on-3 advantage for X-Mad Lions. HEET tagged up so heavily across the entire T-side line. And again, forced to slow the issue here against some very passive CTs.
Even Afro's thinking that there could be an aggressive approach around there from the short position, but Buzz has backed off. And you'd have to imagine that Lucky has got to try and pincer this long take. Allow himself to be able to open up the kill towards Pit down onto Warrior 2K, knowing that he's especially on low HP.
No contact yet against the HEET side, though. 30 seconds, they're going to have to make that move. How does Lucky play into this? Smokes on towards the short position. The Molotov sent back to the back of the site. Buzz has a smoke in to try extinguish it. Very nice call from him. Lucky now starts to make his move out towards the long control. The Molotov and the flashbang to combine against Buzz. Burn him quite significantly. Lucky gets Warrow and Buzz will drop. Long cleared out. Sight has been gained. That nade on Afro, though, it lands off position. He can plant down at default or back behind Big Box.
Even Jocko has not seen Red Star get aggressive. JL trying to come up from that short position. Low HP for a few plays. This is still very doable. They've got to deal with Jocko, and JL gets the pick.
2-on-2 situation. X-Mad Lions have such a significant HP advantage. The AWP is on site as well. The Incendiary driving back to Goose and into the eye of JL. Now Lucky back is short, flashed off, looking in from long. Red Star gets his kill, and X-Mad Lions hold it together. Heat with a couple of close calls. Too many close calls in that round, and they will concede it.
That looked to be a very easy retake. There really was not much to that at all. Even though you got the man advantage, it's the low HP. It comes down to the crunch. Beautiful timing as Warrior starts repositioning. Buzz gets caught out in the open, and while the HE placement doesn't go down to where the bomb's being planted, that's an easy kill to Jocko. Low HP, even the Incendiary towards the site forces the Goose position out in the open, and then the flash forward. Even Red Star catches Lucky completely blinded. 10 on the board. Heat, knowing the half they had, Jay, knowing they won the pistol, how have they only managed one more round after that?
T-side not going well for them again. They had a flawless CT half, but a close 8-7 last time against the X-Mad Lions camp. And they are paying for it in the second half, it seems. Buzz finding Afro already. One man picked up a rifle. Only in the hands of two T-side players at the moment. Exercises Deagle. Somehow catches Warro. Stays alive at 2 himself. Now an AWP in his own hands. But a 4-on-4 to deal with.
Slight surprise. Seemed to be a bit of an easy pick from Warrior to work the lower tunnels. Lucky, or that could have been a bit of an easy pick as well. TMB's trying to press the issue.
Didn't quite get the headshot. Exercises AWP and the rotators. One might think that they're out towards suicide, but TMB has to jump on him as the leg shot only connects the damage. It's 3 tagged up players for X-Mad Lions. Now they're in a similar spot to where Heat were in the last round. Body just leaning forward, trying to rotate back, try to grab the AWP if possible. Was dropped out there towards spawn, so should be recoverable.
Just knowing that TMB's continued to hold aggressively around T-Spawn and this upper tunnels, they can stack up on A, because the time is being slightly limited. JL's quite defensive in CT. Buzz the same. They're reliant on Red Star to pick up the kills.
Yeah, the only player on 100 points of health in this one. The rotates will be cut back by TMB's part. JL's AWP set at CT, seeing one smoke down. Second one also comes in. The blind fire felt like it landed right there towards Jocko. He swings, finds Buzz, knows that AWP is out there towards spawn itself. Red Star gets his kill, but Jocko overwhelms, it's all left to Red Star against 2 players. Lines up the kill against the 1 man, but runs out of ammo. TMB, last player left. Jocko has the bomb and has no time, has got to go for the plant. TMB gets forced back, so the retake is on here, but it might be over in an instant. Khalil needs one good burst as TMB fires back, reveals his position, and somehow wins the fight. Jocko had every advantage in the world, but couldn't get it done.
It's payback. It's got to be payback for that first map. Another clutch, this time around going in favor of X-Mad Lions. But you're right, Jocko had so many advantages to close that round down in the 1v2, and it doesn't come out. The bomb gets planted. TMB forces the fight, and eventually on 14 HP comes out on top. X-Mad Lions are continuing the streak 4 in a row now.
That's going to sting for Heat. So much so they call a tactical. Second one in this map. That is tragic. So unbelievably tragic. And I don't know if they're aware of how little HP he really had, but how crucial that round was to their campaign on the T-side line. At least the bomb plant bonus would enable a buy here with the lost bonus building with the savings in the back of the T-side bank accounts. But those numbers only mean so much when you're 13-11 up from what was an 11-4 half. 2 rounds to separate. X-Mad Lions closing in on equalization.
Getting very close to what I would even call winning the map, Jay. Just the fact that you're carrying this momentum forward, even though the last few rounds have been competitive, they want that decent break, and they've got themselves a very good buy. Double AWPs coming through. A lot of CTs trying to get out to mid and B.
There's one seam jump facing, the smoke's down to suppress vision out towards the directive doors angle. Flashes in from Exercise to lean out to the tunnel's control. The nades back from the CT forces, though, keep them at bay.
And as soon as Warro and co start prodding quite aggressively to the upper tunnels and don't see anything, you'll probably see a branch off and a little bit more of a shift of the CTs to rotate the defend up A.
Crunching in, seeing nothing in tunnels. Incendiary is held as Exercise, knows that they are up here en masse. Flashes in to extend even further out here for the CT side. The smokes will go down to keep one player out there as they stack up A instead.
Body thinking about the resmoke towards Xbox, start gaining some of that mid control. Even Warro is waiting for the jump down.
Smoke will cover him though. Molotov assistance to counter flash in to try to block them, but they'll make their way up mid anyway.
Oh, this AWP might be able to catch the feet, might be able to catch the first. That's good information. Oh, that's a couple of players being seen.
Shot not connecting on Lucky though. At least has the info as Buzz now braces for impact. 40 seconds, Afro meanwhile strikes on long, gets TMB, that might force to rotate right back here. Smokes down close against Red Star on the door itself. The bombs cross successfully. The engagement against JL does some damage, but he tanks some of his own right. Warrow through the smoke, gets Jocko. Afro's completely blind. JL can turn the man advantage back to the CT favor. Red Star also blinded off Buzz, picked up on the B side, but the bomb's committing to A. Lucky with a kill back to the favor of the Heat side. The bomb's got to commit as JL swung upon, and it's Warrow to clutch.
Heat just manipulating the rotations to absolute perfection in that round. JL doing his absolute best to at least get the flash forward to deal with that long play of Afro. But indeed, it was Heat with mass players aggressing down from short. And for XMAD Lions, they didn't really realize what was going on there. Wasn't sure if it was going to be the play out towards B, whether it was going to be the quick play into mid. And they just got caught sleeping, not sure where the end up was going to be.
Warrow's going to save it, not opt to go for the retake, and that's why instant prod, instant headshot for Exercise, 14-11 now. Heat with 2 more rounds to win this map to finally close out the one-sided affair that they had in the first half. And with no rifle staying in for XMAD Lions, it might have to be an eco. Hearing the music of a tactical pause, I can assume it's for the CT side, and yes, it is. Second in this map for XMAD Lions.
And it always comes down to when you've got a really strong first half and you even win pistol, no matter how it comes back and answers, when you're up 12-4, you need a few rounds. And that could come through at any moment. And for XMAD Lions, they've unfortunately been in a situation because they've been forced on retakes, and it has been quite expensive, that the money's not ideal. Don't want to play for OT, want to force it down, give yourself the best opportunity possible of still trying to deny 15 in from Heat. But I got to be honest and say that unless this force buy comes through from a miracle, this should still be 15 for Heat.
We've seen miracles before here in Elisa. Now would be the time for another one. XMAD Lions hoping for it at this stage. One player seen crossing. JL tagged up with smokes on initially to suppress the early execution towards that B site. Nades up for even further damage to come through as Warrow Scout looks in from mid.
An opening pick is going to be vital, and as of right now, there's not really too many overextensions. You've got TMB pushed up quite aggressively towards the longhouse. Unless he starts hearing some footsteps or there's more information from the scout in mid, I can't really see him aggressing forward.
Footsteps heard, tags up from both sides. Afro Zorb versus Warrow Scout. Warrow comes out worse for wear upon it. That push from TMB yet to be seen up at the longhouse position, being marked by Lucky here, so he shouldn't be given much breathing room. Might even lead to that opening kill.
They do have that M4 from Buzz trying to play down towards CT. And if he gets smoked off, it is a mid to B wrap. He might just aggress further forward of it. Even Lucky is peering away, does not want to hold it any further.
Thinks it might be safe. Does he think wrong? Yet to be discovered as TMB is yet to act. Meanwhile, over towards that CT spawn, pressure seems to apply itself to Buzz. The M4 held back at the spawn angle. Smokes in towards CT, indicating they might go for some sort of short pop, but Body gets Buzz instead. Frag found his back turn, now leaning into the site itself. JL in the tunnels itself as Red Star holds with a deagle. Flashes in ahead of the smoke. Exercise tags the man up, and then the smoke fades. JL's down. Red Star with one pick. Needs so much more, and he's not going to get it.
Even TMB is just charging in the backstab rather than trying to save. I'm not sure about this one. I think you got to get out of here. Hold on to at least the weapons that's possible. Heat with a beat take, and you felt there from Buzz, there was a slight overextension, wasn't there? That smoke goes down deep on the CT spawn from the A perspective, and he just starts moving away. And as soon as he does, that's when he gets caught off guard from Body. And TMB with the MP9, Warrow with the Scout, just anything would be a bonus into the next round. Heat up to 15, one more to close.
Map points at last. The struggles of the T side have ended up being worth it here for the Frenchman. Even Warrow will fall. XMAD Lions force the issue. With not a lot of loss bonus in their back pocket either. Economy game. be severely impacted by these lack here. Look at the money line right there for X-Mad Lions. One player is missing, so he will get buzzed back in server. But I don't see much coming in from X-Mad Lions here. They'll have to force the buy, obviously. But like they needed the last round, they need a miracle right here.
Just knowing that for HEET, you are playing a top 30 team in the world. You are playing a team that's just qualified to EPL. And while maybe their results, since they've come back to online, have not been up to their class, they always know it's a few more events until the player break. Let's knuckle down. Let's make sure we go deep. And we've been here in Elisa before. We've been in these situations. The fact that they took on ENTS in the last semi-final, that was a massive upset at the time for HEET to be able to come away with that series, to do it in a 2-0 fashion as well. Now you start looking at the position that they're in. They've beaten X-Mad Lions before. They're one round away from taking the first map in the series. And what a leg up that could be, because if we look back at the recent form that X-Mad Lions have been in, they don't often lose their map pick, Jay.
This could be that occasion where they do. Again, for those of you who didn't see the veto, Dust 2 was picked by the X-Mad Lions. Nuke will be the second one as picked by HEET, and that will be a much more difficult task for this squad. Not a completely unmanageable task. We have seen them win out Nuke in the last week alone. But even so, it's a major setback to them, considering their playstyle. Afro already strikes on TMB. Warrow Scout somehow found the frag to return, though, so credit. 4-on-4. And now JL will make it 4-on-3. Maybe the miracles do exist here.
Even Buzz is trying to catch as much information up there towards short. Doesn't really call that much over. Red Star with the Deagle down on the site, and Buzz is hearing all of this from spawn.
Body smoked off position as the flash did come through initially towards Buzz's angle. Forced to utilize that smoke and stop the T-side aggression, which is what they'll do. JL with the AK, rotating back here. Might be nice to pass that off to one of the site players who are on higher HP, particularly Red Star with the helmet as well. He's going to keep a hold of it for the time being.
Got to have a lot of trust in Body in a round like this. We know how consistent he's been so far in Dust 2. Out towards CT spawn, though. It's dry. They don't even put the smoke down.
Counter smoke instead for the CT side, and they give up the frag to a 4-on-2 situation. 50 seconds, and JL is rotating alongside HEET into that B site. Warrior's already got the scout placed.
There is a molly, so if that gets out towards the back of the site, that will at least be promising. The factor is, though, how do they get the molly out? They'll have to show themselves.
Scout ready. Peeks in. Jocko with the kill. JL so close. Both players have U2 in hand, and the spray comes up to the Quadra. JL with the play of a lifetime, one that keeps X-Mad Lions in on Dust 2.
And we've seen how class JL has been over the course of the main Swiss stage and the playoffs, coming into today as the 16th highest rated player of the event. Does some double AWPing, does some very sensational stuff with the rifle, and we saw it right there with the AK. Works with the timing, here's all those footsteps, nades are out in hand, and for X-Mad Lions, they may have just given themselves a chance here on Dust 2.
1 out of 4 need to get to OT, and of course the buyback for HEET will come through across the entire set of AKs that force invest for X-Mad Lions. Those still has 2 limiting factors in TMB's SMG and Buzzes from Mars. Smoke to come in early for Afro. It might be a quick hit.
This is a really good read right now for X-Mad Lions. They've stacked up the B side.
Orpin playing all, swing out, TMB, dead man, Red Star overwhelmed, Warrow with 1 pick, nade to the backside, might stall against Exercise, but a 4-on-3 scenario favors HEET. They drive them even further away, secure that plant. JL charges into the site though, and Jocko falls for it. His plays to be the ultimate hero again, almost takes his own teammate down though. A 3-on-2, a 2-on-2, a 1-on-2, Afro needs to swing, get his kill, but Warrow deals with him, and X-Mad Lions hold the line.
Bro, what is going on? What is actually happening in this round? He got a double entry from Jocko onto B and do not win the round. This should be it. Anytime you get a double entry on B, that is the round done. Instead, JL pop flashes through the smoke, gets so much damage around this car position, and Warrow is there to get the quick trade-off. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe X-Mad Lions have somehow won that round.
Against all the odds, the heroics from JL. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Third tactical for HEET, appropriately so. Money is in a bit of a weird state. They could probably buy here, even though it will carry its risks. And X-Mad Lions, they are on the come up. They are on the comeback. 2 more to overtime.
I think HEET have to buy here. You're working with max round loss bonus, so you want to give yourself 2 rounds at possibility of closing. Buy down here, maybe not all the way, but buy down quite heavy. Try and get a bomb plant, and then have another buy in round 30. Interesting.
2 Galils. Or probably landing a leg shot on Exercise. A bit of a heavy-handed investment from Body here. $850 left for him. His rest of his teammates on the 1.5k flow. Swing out for the SMG. Abar's already finding the kill alongside TMB. Spray through the smoke. 1 trade comes back for Jocko, but it's a 2-for-1.
There's a lot of respect being given up towards Long. Now they can boost the AWPer from that elevated position back up to the A side to defend. And for HEET, they've just got to start exploitating. Exercise getting aggressive towards a short position. They've got to catch one of the A players.
Nades on Exercise, removing him now, reducing the T side to 2. Jocko and Body working at the short control. Look towards that position here in the footsteps of the CT, but TMB catches Jocko above the smoke. The head barely seeing the blind fire through the smoke, knowing exactly where Body is. 14 to the board of the CT side. Round 30 will be played. HEET with 1 final buyback, 1 last investment here, 1 last chance to close Dust 2 in regulation.
And when I think about this round, I'm thinking about JL from X-Mad Lions and what he's capable of, and I'm thinking about Body and what he's capable of here on the HEET side. There is going to be a lot riding on this single round. And for X-Mad Lions, what a comeback. From 4-12 down, this could be to bring it into OT.
TMB caught off by Exercise first. The start for HEET with a quick drive by, a 1-tap perfect. JL looking above that smoke with the AWP of Afro firing away, revealing his position, but also forcing JL to go passive. There's one man that looked to be heroic in this round. It would be him.
So much gained off of that opening entry kill, and now lining up to be another one of these B-side X's. Check out Red Star. He's got no nades. He's got no way of suppressing this hit.
Works on. Red Star stands alone with it all to do. A little bit lackluster in this map. The B-side defensive. Now's the time to step up. Jocko point blank drops that bomb to a 4-on-4. He aggresses alongside Buzz's control outside of the doorway. Red Star not dealt with. Buzz is found and Red Star has been detected. The backstab, however, closes in. That bomb's got to get picked up and JL could still hold dominion over this. A re-smoke down. Afro's AWP not looking towards it. A kill gets found as Afro responds, and it's Woro now with the AWP in his own hands, thinking there might be a backstab. The bomb's picked up and should get planted here, though. When does Woro act?
Timing's everything. Got the incendiary down too. Does he catch them off guard? Afro's looking the way. Look at the damage done.
4 HP with the leg shot. Needs to swing in. No idea of the close span, and Lucky will just about close it for HEET. A 16-14 map. They dominated their way through the first half. The second one was a struggle, but they do go past the finish line and gain Dust 2.
They get the job done, Jay, and that's what matters. a hold to come down to that ramp and lower position from JL and TMB.
Great pistol for X-Mad Lions, and JL once again mounting himself up here. Hell of a map over on Dust 2, and rightfully deserving of a nomination for MVP already. To carry that on, he's one of the players you're looking for because he almost 30 bomb there, the highest fragger in the server. TMB, similar story actually, second man down on that board, so got to keep your eyes on those two guys, already starting things off with the pistol, and now with the rifles out, it's their chance to strike back.
JL, the highest rated player in the last 3 months for X-Mad Lions on Nuke with a 1.16 on average. A lot of good holds from him, a lot of strong holds out towards that ramp roam. And you've got to imagine here for the X-Mad Lions towards a defensive topside play, they're going to be farming up these Glocks.
Tap through onside Glocks, exercise caught to 63 HP, tagged up initially, not a major amount though. Red Star spotting the likes of Body, but not getting the headshots to the man, not quite the kills being found by the CT side, even if they are taking some tag damage here and there. And there's also being some dished out to the CT forces, War in particular, down at the lowest at 25.
TMB wants to try and get as much money out of this round as possible. Have that MP9 in a close vent position to take a contact from the duel and then potentially drop down.
Just bursting through onto the door itself, trying to find an angle on Jocko. Unable to really get it at the moment, though. Red Star takes a bit more tag damage to the C's. Are doing decently with these Glocks. Dinks coming through against the CT forces. I mean, they've not got a kill yet, but they have got some decent opportunities for the kills.
Red Star's peering for a lot of information towards outside, and now you can see the tag damage really coming through. JL towards ramp is just getting even more, dropping that bomb. So this pretty much denies any chance of a bomb plant, and Body drops off the silo.
It all comes undone. What was a pretty decent start in the round itself. At least there's 1 kill on Warrior, so they can capitalize on that much, but TMB's SMG probably gets it back. Lucky with a sewer. What's going on here? What, guys, what is that? What is that?
To be fair, sometimes if you do get shot from the silo position and the aim punch, you're not able to make that jump to main, so it can be often seen on anti-ecos that you have a few of them.
I'd personally like to see exactly what happened there. Oh no, there was no bullets.
No, he might have missed the jump to the one a little bit below her. Just missed it completely.
2 suicides in 1 round from Silo. That is not common. So enjoy it. That is true, actually, yeah. 2 suicides for 2-0. Again, X-Mad Lions with the pistol conversion eco, and now the guns out on the AKs, of which one has already been removed by Red Star.
And you've got to imagine that for Red Star, this is a good opportunity for him to get stuck in on Nuke. We know that he's been very consistent across the last few officials. Slight gap in one of those smokes towards outside. He can actually gain quite a lot of vision on this.
You're seeing where Jocko is and tagging him down. Afro picked up by Waro. Hit a secret here. Ready for more control. Ready to try fight onto the man. Gets the kill against Jocko. So everyone dead to rights on the outside. HEET down to 2 against 5.
X-Mad Lions just looking to try and keep this as clean as possible. They don't really want to be losing any players, especially with the man advantage. Even JL towards ramp is doing a lot of damage onto Lucky, but they don't actually commit with it. And even Red Star's repositioned to hang up from hell now.
Looking into the center of the ramp control, exercise flash in, facing, somehow gets away with that kill, but both those engagements tank heavy damage on the HEET side, so with a 3-on-2 advantage for X-Mad Lions, shouldn't be around they can see it unless they get the perfect headshots from here on out. So looking to dive down into that ramp control and try to play the B site.
Going to be very difficult, but they actually do have some utils, so if they molly off dark and maybe smoke towards the observation windows or double doors, they could have an opportunity of trying to get the bomb plant in.
There's the smoke out the window.
Ooh.
Gap in it though, perfect for Waro. Lucky still swings. All right then, 2-on-2. Plant's got to be secured. TMB very quickly to try and deny it, but it does go down successfully here. Just about Krill, and now Lucky top of the silo, looking for the one man. Sees the second and almost gets it for his own right. Made manageable by the HEET side, and down to another 1v1 clutch for X-Mad Lions to start taking to their favor.
I've just got the vibe that this game is just going to continue down to the matter of clutches. In rounds where they probably shouldn't have. X-Mad Lions, they get the job done. Are you happy with that? Probably not. That's a 5v2. JL overswings a little bit too wide. Red Star gets caught out in the open. That's a very good pick from Lucky, to be fair, around the smoke that's got a gap in the right-hand side. But from that point onwards, X-Mad Lions have got to realize we need to really make sure that that does not happen on a consistent basis. Otherwise, you're just going to get instantly reset.
Reset for the Heat side. 2 hero Galils, one of which has already been denied by TMB. These early starts have been fantastic for the CT forces. Heat have got to change that up there. Jocko with his Galil trying to prod forward. Flash in, gets the kill towards JL. So a rifle that can get picked up. A Molotov sent down to the Hell entrance. Seen there on Red Star's part will get driven away.
Not really many players that can rotate down towards that lower bomb site. TMB's just by himself, getting out towards Dark, hearing a lot of these footsteps, and actually got Warrior in the window too, or towards that Hell position with the AWP, I should say.
Well, Red Star catches body in the middle of the smoke, so an advantage goes back the way of the X-Mad Lions here. M4 still leaning, but leaning out too far, completely dry into the hands of Buzz. Gets the headshot without mercy out of Decon. TMB leans forward, and Buzz gets overwhelmed. Exercise follows suit, so again, the trades are good for Heat, 2-on-2.
Red Star's rotating in quickly, decides to slow it down, and Warrior's going to take some time to come out from ramp, and instead of just getting the bomb down, they continue fighting out to the double doors.
And leave it all on the AWP to clutch it in his own 1v2 scenario. Heat bringing the Heat down to that B bomb site. Warrior make his move in now, gonna look for a better rifle, just peeking it with USP, spotting out one, taps forward, dink down against him at 11 points of health, and now from here he should just fall back and save the weapon. Indeed, that's what he'll do. And the first round will go the way of the French side.
Got to imagine X-Mad Lions are probably going to force up here. You've got TMB on double eco status, Red Star the same. You've got some money and limitations for JL and Buzz, but you've got an AWP saved in. You probably want to buy around it. Heat love the way that rather than just typically getting the bomb down, playing the post plant in the 2v2, they get a little bit uncharacteristic, I would say. They actually fight Red Star towards that double doors position, catch him off guard. Not expecting that play to come through. And for Heat, that is a round that is very surprising and comes out of nowhere.
And the start has been found for the T-side line. And, well, you mentioned the reset potential for X-Mad Lions. You can see it coming in right here on the buyback. The AWP and the M4 will be out for Warrior and Buzz, but for TMB, it's a FAMAS. For JL and Red Star, it's Deagles. Very broken scenario here for the CTs.
Seeing some good stuff, though, from JL and Red Star with the Deags, so keep that in mind. A couple of these teams, we could say, getting into the semi-finals, Jay, have had some very good Deagle rounds. Warrior 2K with the AWP towards outside is going to strike with yet another opening man advantage.
Yeah, body down. Nades onto the main T-side force as well. That could do quite a fair amount of damage. Indeed, it does, but only chipping away at the HP bars. JL, hearing the jump face, hearing Heat start to back away.
This has got to be looked at very positively from the international mix side of just how many 5-on-4s they're gaining in the early start of Nuke. TMB pressed up aggressively towards that open vent corner, and knowing that there's now more CTs rotating towards ramp, they'll realize it's completely clear. JL did a very good job with the util to make sure that he stalled for time and did not allow that execution to follow. And for Heat, they're just trying to wait for an overextension, slow it down on the clock.
Smokes to suppress, Lucky leaning in. TMB's caught. 4-on-4, Molotov in towards Buzz next. He will get forced out as no smoke. He has got a smoke that he can utilize, but he doesn't want to utilize it there. Sprays back in against Lucky's position, not taking any more damage. As Jocko leans in for Mini, Buzz is going to be heard here, so weapon advantage, tags heard, Buzz a known entity. Jocko going to look towards the side, but Exercise gets that kill. Now it's left to the AWP in the backside to do the majority of the damage from here. Getting that one kill on Afro, lean out for so much more. Almost lined up a collab, but Exercise trades it instead. 2-on-2 with the bomb down.
Red Star, rather than over-peaking, decides to actually play it quite silently. Get regrouped in by JL, who's trying to come from this main position. They might actually regroup in heaven together.
Great molly as well, timing against Red Star. There was a regroup towards heaven. It has been slowed down for now. JL taking his sweet time with it. Red Star will start the push forward as Exercise on his own counter backstabbers right here in that hell position. Jocko has Dominion over the site, sees them both. Burst fire doing damage to one. Exercise starts making his way up. Nades in, not quite getting the kill against the player. They are down to the site here, so the flag is in. The players are spotted. Exercise gets both of them. What is overall a quadra in the round for him, a second to the board of Heat.
And it feels as if here for Heat, they are actually capitalizing very well on the back foot. This has been, I would say, almost every round in the first half that there's been a 5-on-4 or a 5-on-3 for X-Mad Lions. And even in that round, they get the first pick outside. Warrior repositions to the back of Silo. He continues doing damage. But it was just that siphon-off play, the way that it made it so uncomfortable for TMB towards that open vent corner. Buzz, too, was getting mollied, spam. He was really struggling in the back of the vent.
Fast playing from Heat towards the upper site. Matt Tenaboli knows that there must be pistols out in play for the CTs. No one is on the site itself, though. They're out in heaven. They're down in the vents. Sprays to the smoke, hoping they can catch something. Of course, they're now aware that that MAC-10 is in play. Let's get the bomb plant down, try and set up the retake here for the Heat side. Red Star leaning forward as well. Is the first man caught. JL spotted next play exercise. Seeing if that SMG can get anything out of this one indeed, but he does get a little money bonus on Red Star. Buzz and TMB will back away.
X-Mad Lions just not wanting to get farmed up in this one. Was thinking about prodding around for an exit kill to recover a weapon, but realized the last thing they want to do is give an advantage up to that MAC-10 player of body. 3-3, and for Heat's perspective, the more they keep this competitive, the closer the scoreline is in the first half, the more beneficiary approach is going to get found moving into the second. X-Mad Lions want to try and farm up as much in this first half as possible.
And there's Body with the 2 more MAC-10 frags, an $1,800 kill bonus in this round for him. Can be a bonus in the next as well for Heat. A lot of cash in the bank. These X-Mad Lions buy down against all 5 players alive. Of course, a lot of cash to throw the way of the Heat camp, and they look to try and take the lead for it as well. Look for any players without helmets in this next buy-up. Buzz will be one of them. JL will not be. So only 2 for X-Mad Lions and TMB being the second man. All M4s across the board. Body has 2 easy headshots to find, and the AKs, the M4, the AWP for the rest.
No incendiary, fast play, right out of the gate, straight to the vent drop, and Body has really not taken much damage at all. There is a spam from Waro, though.
Exercise will get caught for it, but that bomb's not going to go downstairs. Lucky's already been seen. JL will have the info as to the bomb's position. Rotation's caught as a result of it. Body will get fragged, so MAC-10 to drop. Lucky might want to rethink his angle here. Down by 2 players on the Heat side.
Even though they got that vent drop in so quickly, they haven't managed much after the fact. Even Buzz is thinking that there could be a wrap in from main. Waro down towards the decon door. Oh, spots the bomb at least.
And Lucky re-peeks to give up his life. Not a smart idea at all. AWP of Afro overwhelmed by JL as all 5 are alive for X-Mad Lions this time. He cannot quite get the lead, but again, a bit of a bonus round. They can rebuy and hold here.
No AK is being recovered, unfortunately, or that AWP, so they'll be a little bit miffed at that with the idea that there was a lot of T-side weapons being dropped. They just weren't able to get to any of them. Afro outside was the last player towards that secret control with the AWP. 4 on 3 now for the X-Mad Lions, and like you mentioned, it was a bonus. There was still a MAC-10 involved in that last round, so the reinvestment can come back in from the Frenchman. And now for Heat, the question is, can they tie up the scoreline again?
A bit more slow here from the default setting. The smoke's coming out for Exercise to set up the outside set. Well, look, red box cross seems to be the call. No, diagonal smokes instead, excuse me. Red Star will try and counteract it with a decent nade that tanks away on Jocko and Body there.
Even the spam is getting very close down onto Jocko. He might even drop on the continuous approach down to Secret. They are being very slow about it, not making any noise, but the spam damage has been decent, and TMB has rotated into the vents at lower.
Got his rifle set in to try to defend against this position, but not an active angle, as you can see. Walk forward for Jocko, the first man in a tight hole, a tight position for TMB. Swing out, Jocko does get dealt with. Body now swings, and TMB is forced to fall away.
Flash again, try and see if he can multi-frag up. Not over-peaking. He's actually wasting so much time in the vents.
Yeah, forcing Heat to overextend. They know that he must be out here somewhere, and Body will catch him off guard in the end. So 4-on-4 game, but Jail's up in the rafters making noise at that. Smoke down, re-smoke on from Waro. The nade should come through towards Decon. Be evaded by Body's part as he's too far back.
Jail might actually try and peek towards that single door position. Heat trying to work outside. Look at the position from Red Star, though. That's class.
Oh, Exercise has no idea. Will he check it? No, he won't. Kill gets found, advantage regained by the CTs, but now Lucky struck towards upper. The vents are open, the Molotov's in, the bomb can go down for it. 3-on-3 retake here.
Red Star trying to prod a way in, get the paint can smoke in towards that heaven control, try and retake as a unit. They've got a kit, they've got a lot of util to work with.
Oh, looking up and over as JL catches Afro. Advantage now for the CTs again. AK of Lucky trying to hold back at the rafters. Smokes and flash turned away from by Body. Looks to the gap and JL catches him. Lucky with one trade. Now the known entity. Red Star going to provide some covering fire for JL. Could be sprayed through on the wall bang. Lucky's not spraying in the right position though. Looks up and gets dropped down. Red Star with the final kill of the round. And X-Mad Lions should have the defuse for the 5th.
And I just looked at that crossfire and thought, unless Lucky spams all the way through and gets a headshot, there's no way he's winning that round. That was played to absolute perfection there from X-Mad Lions. 3v3, slow it down. You get the smoke out towards the squeak door, get another smoke with the one way to heaven. The flashes come into the fold, and then Red Star just holds in the Mustang position, looks down, knows that Lucky's there in hut. The bomb is not planted for him at all, so the best that he can hope for is spam, eventually swing out into the open, and that's when he gets caught into the trap. First tactical used here for the Heat side, because keep in mind, they even got a bomb plant in that last round, but the money's not really here.
We've got to think carefully about how they take the approach in this one. They could force the issue, and that's what they'll do.
It's risky.
Look like it might have been a hero AK from Jocko initially, but they do get 3 of them out instead. Galil in for Lucky as well. Afro will tank the deagle damage. Heat will just try and aim to keep pace here. The early 3 rounds game X-Man lines were equalized. 2 on the trot back for the CT forces, though. And Heat will try and get 2 back in their own accord to equalize the scoreline again. It's not a terrible buy, but it is not great. And as you mentioned, Blake, this investment is going to be risky from the Heat side.
Could be quite aggressive. TMB taking a lot of damage early on, trying to work on the edge of that instant rush. Warrior 2K catching off Lucky. It's going to be the topside play.
Flash is evaded. They don't check the top of the hut. TMB and Buzz can combine the crossfire. A 4-on-2 gain body. So that's no idea where TMB is. He's forced to back away with the bomb on his back. Afro's Galil leans up, looks for the headshot. Can't see it in the midst of all the smoke. The flashbang in will know that he's ducked away. His body catches him through the smoke instead. So reducing to a single man advantage and almost challenging Red Star here. And Red Star gets his revenge.
Even JL presses the issue, slightly aggressive, knows that body is somewhere in lobby. A slight reposition out to that right-hand side, going to be difficult to pre-aim, and JL gets the advantage. Now, I want to bring you back, Jay, to that game versus Masonic. Third map decider in the quarterfinals for Heat. We saw Afro dropping 44 kills, averaging a 1.54 rating in that map. No one was even close to him. He was by far and away above Masonic, above his own teammates. He's 1-7 on Nuke. Is that the concern? Because without Afro's performance on Nuke versus Masonic, they would not have won that series, and Masonic would have been in this position here today.
Consider as well, Afro was second from the top of the board for Heat as well in that last map. Second only to body. Of course, started the map negative and the suicide earlier on silo, but back into his own now, but losing his life to Warrior here in this eco play. Yorp picks up the first. Heat to push back on the back foot.
Just working these picks towards outside consistently. Even Red Star starting to find a lot more form than perhaps what we saw from him on Dust 2. I think there were some exploitations towards that man, so trying to build up a little bit more confidence and get some more involvement. JL just been very consistent toward this ramp room, and for Heat, they're just hoping that they can maybe pop their way forward with a flash, dive down to lower for a bomb plant.
Flash on as JL ducks out of the way of the AK. Waiting, spotting a crack angle, somehow finding Jocko's head in amongst that. The crossfire with him and Red Star and ultimately decimates all players in this one. 3 kills for JL, all 5 alive. Again, eco status, can't do much there for the Heat side. And now the guns come in full. The risky buy will now start to negate that risk if at all possible. It's going to have to start from here.
And we saw that for Heat, they were struggling to close on their T side against Masonic. They had a 10-5 half on their CT. They went into the T side, and the rounds just, they weren't coming. They were once every so often. You saw that they were down, what was it, 12-15? So it was only 2 rounds up until that point to then make it 3 in a row. There were some serious struggles on that T side, and I think we're seeing it here again today.
Incendiary send, flashes go over for the T-side line, trying to prod initially at the outside control. Just a one-man that's up there, though. Red Star and TMB so aggressive. Is body going to read this? Spray through against the smoke line. Be passive about this position.
Got to imagine TMB and Red Star aren't going to press any further forward of this. Even Warriors coming with the orb outside. They've got 3 players here now.
Body didn't stand a chance on that exchange. Easy kill for Warrior as a result. Heat thinking their strategies. The resmokes down from Exercise will now be aware that they have aggressed towards the outside, and the prod from Jocko just isn't good enough. X-Mad Lions looking sharp once again, and they're just finding all these picks as appropriate.
JO and Buzz trying to see if they can approach the crossfire towards ramp, and it's the unknown entity of the Dane towards the left-hand side.
Slow walk for Afro, giving up his life. Exercise also drops. And Heat are looking real rough here on T-side now. 8th to the board of the X-Mad Lions. They have the CT half. And the Frenchman going from decent to pretty poor in the space of a few rounds.
And what did I say just before we started this map? Look at what happened on Dust 2. You have a 12-4, and he struggled to close. That doesn't give me much confidence forward for HEET at all. To me, it actually says that XMAD Lions had a little bit of a slow start, and that towards the end, they started finding more form, more comfortability, and that's where we saw the players really coming through. And now on the CT side of Nuke, this is looking the best for XMAD Lions right now.
They better rely heavily on the CT side themselves. The Julie's out, a pistol half by into this round. Buzz and Mora deal with it. Exercise down with a bomb on the center of the site now. Red Star will also end up dropping. Aurora's pretty low HP himself, so it might be a chance for recovery on the HEET side with an AK now in the hands of Body. Does find JL next to a 2-on-2. Now they're evading the AKs, but they've got to continue the challenge here. Nice HE, Body's dead. Jocko incendiaried away. Does grab that AK, but sticks around in the flames, thinking it wouldn't spread all that far. And XMAD Lions continue to stack up the rounds.
And even that one, we're starting to get a glimpse of, is it a possibility of a recovery? Maybe, maybe not. The chip damage made so much of a factor that as soon as you're down in that 3v2, yeah, you might lose JL towards a Heaven control. You've got the util, you've got a HE, you've got an incendiary to work with, you've got the information that the last two are out towards the squeak door. Just work with that util. XMAD Lions, one away from double digits in the first half.
He's set with their guns out now to try and bring something, claw something back. Lucky immediately in amongst the smokes here towards the squeaky door, trying to get down. The vents was tagged there by TMB's timing. It'll be Red Star against the fraggers. He's sitting in lower already. Picking up the opening for the CT side again.
I actually cannot remember the last time HEET had an opening man advantage on T side of Nuke. That's how wild that is.
Fast pace, you'd hope, without position the XMAD Lions, or at least just get in their faces, but no. Now an AK put up by TMB. Red Star sitting outside of the red box. Warriors with the AWP on support. Jocko will get smoked off position, trying to tap on towards Garage. Second teammate out there as Jocko does get caught. Red Star does find one pick, but after they're responsive. Those training games have lead to a 3-on-2 advantage for XMAD Lions.
And that's what we've been praising XMAD Lions for so much over the course of the last week or so, Jay, is their training game, the way that they can play and bounce off one another. And we saw it at outside. Warren 2K and Red Star really just being able to provide the pricks between one another. And now for JL, even a slight jiggle. He's seen the bomb. He can take the jewel. That's going to be it dropped.
Another crucial frag for XMAD Lions. HEET looking the wrong way at the wrong time. And Body just cannot seem to find a pick in the round. 10 to the board of the CT side, and this looks real rough for the HEET side. Tactical taken by them very late into the half. Their goal is to recover the next two, at least try and enter into the next half with a 10-5. 11-4 looks more likely at best for HEET, though. Got to put so much emphasis on the CT side for the Frenchman here, because this T half has been a disaster.
And Nuke has really been the silent in the pocket, hasn't it, for the XMAD Lions? Think about some of their results on Nuke recently. Against Apex, 16-9, 7 rounds on the T side. Against Eternal Fire that we saw in the quarterfinals, 16-8, they started on the T side again. They got 11 rounds. We haven't seen struggles on T side. And in fact, we've probably been praising XMAD Lions more so on T side than CT. And they're 10-3 up in the first half. And their T side is still yet to come.
Hero AK set for Body here with the half-bore pistols around it. Smokes down, Molotovs in, nades to try and dish out some damage to Exercise. Body working against the CT forces. Of course, his teammate's going to cross out towards the super control. Red Star challenging the man, instantly removes that AK, instantly removes the firepower for the T-side forces. Still continue the B campaign, try to get the bomb down and try to get a little bit of bonus cash here for Jocko and co. It's an instant kill against TMB. JL will also drop, so the 3-on-3 has been recovered here. They need a bit more, though. Red Star tagged up in the center of the site. He'll get driven back.
Lucky's thinking about going back towards top side, and Buzz does get dropped out towards that closed vent corner. Now for Red Star and Warrior, they've got to think about rotating back to A.
Where was this HEET for the entire half? They got so much cash for XMAD Lions that they might as well go for the retake here. They've got $10,000 on 2 players before the loss bonus comes in. Red Star, M4 leaning out. Finds one of the side. They're playing extremely passive about this. Warrow finds his pick on Lucky. 2-on-2, evades the likes of the backside man. Afro getting Red Star. Jocko getting it incendiaried away. Maybe deeper into the bomb site itself, but not out into the open to the AWP mix here. Warrow's dead out of time and dead out of the round. Finally, HEET break the streak and get to 4.
Couple of Deagle kills really changing the tide of that entire round. You saw that Jocko was able to catch, I think it was TMB, down in the vents towards that lower bomb side. But the kill that mattered the most had to be Lucky's one from Hut, straight onto Buzz to that back vent corner. And as soon as that comes in, that just allows the bomb to go back to A. Red Star and both Warrior 2K, they're out of position. They're down there at lower. And X-Mad Lions struggle against the Eco. You wonder whether they're going to struggle against the rifle round, though.
Semi-likely, double AWPs are out here. Given out what we've seen so far from this T-Hub, it wouldn't shock me at all. Incendiary set in against the secret position. Body's already crossed down there, though. TMB is the player on the lowest side, getting back up the fence, though, to defend A. Means that there's very little resistance for HEET here.
They can't imagine an AWP is going to be here at ramp, because JL's just been M4ing. I don't think we've seen any AWPing towards ramp at all, other than when Warriors rotated to Hell. This could be something that they're not expecting. They might need a boost up from Afro.
Ash turned away from Bodies, making noise down here. Jocko will indeed boost the AWP. Leg shot is actually a bit too high for JL. He connects the kill somehow. Lightning fast reactions and kicks things off for the CT side.
Even that re-smoke just cancels any adaptability to continue the pace down. And Body's been spotted outside.
AWP of Warrior leaning forward. TMB gets caught by Body. A trade found for the man. A 4-on-4, but low HP for him. Flashes into the side. Buzz turned away from the T side as they try and dive down the fence, but Lucky gets 2 entries up towards A. It might change the pace and the plans here for HEET.
Back towards upper. There's still a play that could come through for the NWP. Warrior misses that opportunity.
The bomb's already crossed as well, so the plant can be secured easy, but open for Heaven. JL's up there, switching to the M4, but still caught off by the headshots, the Body and Lucky. And decency is shown at the turn of the half by HEET, down 5-10 as they look into the CT half to recover the comeback.
So I'm going to correct that point, Jay, and say decency from Lucky. You have to be said that Lucky was the only player that made both of those rounds possible. The kill with the Deagle on A on the Eco, and then he gets a triple kill in that round. It came down to a bit of X Factor, and it came down to the veterancy of Lucky to make something happen in those last couple of rounds.
Definitely a positive for HEET and a momentum swing that could carry forward into the second half. But it needs to be followed up with a pistol victory. The big thing for the Frenchman. Again, I'm looking at this CT hub as being the one which could benefit them the most. Both teams expected to have a decent CT half, and think about what X-Mad Lions and their whole play style is about running defaults and just playing with class players. It kind of plays to that favor. Opportunity now for the Frenchman to strike back. A small tech pause before we get into it, though. X-Mad Lions have definitely found the start. They've definitely found the advantage.
And we have to go back to the conversation about Afro too. Normally, he's a guy that we look at in praises. You think back to that series against Masonic, he put up nearly 80 kills in the entire best of 3, put up nearly 45 on one map of Nuke, and he's the lowest one in server. That is not ideal for the HEET side at all. And you wonder, is that going to be something that has to be relied on in the second half? Do we have to look at some of the riflers instead? Is it more Lucky? Is it more Body to try and get some consistency across the board in the second half? When that AWP does come through, are we going to see some further impact? Because if HEET want to try and take this in a 2-0, I think we need to see Afro. I think that is a key winning point for them.
Only 4 picks deep in this map up. Body, Exercise, and Lucky are the ones leading the charge. Afro on a USP for the pistol round. The Julie's in the hands of Exercise. Glocks across the board here for X-Mad Lions. No kits in for the HEET to retake defensive. Body seeing Shadows, seeing one player cross out to the outer yard. Second man also spotted. So they must be an outer yard play. Lucky's going to get overwhelmed though. The kills found first by X-Mad Lions. And Body will somehow bails out JL's position. Red Star with a decent trade. Tagged in the back though. Jocko is going to be wary of this. To swing on towards Afro, and Afro does get involved. 3-on-3. TMB expecting a wraparound, and that's what comes through. But the bomb has been planted on the B sites. Now
it's about stalling. Even Buzz is keeping eyes down for that vent rotation. Exercise might come through.
Board for Buzz, try to cut him off. Hearing footsteps down the wall. Secret though, got a double duty defensive. Hearing Afro's footsteps, the taps come through. Exercise swings for it, doubles up. Warrior 2K and a 1 versus 3 for the 3K himself. Sees Afro, engagement for the USP. Heat just about get lost out. Backups arrive though. Exercise will close out the job, and they should just actually might be a bit close on the defuse. Yeah, I think they will be okay. It does seem a little bit dicey at the moment. Well, actually, hold on. They haven't got it, no! X-Mad Lions stalled for just enough time as they take the pistol round.
I was sold. I thought that was done. What was it? 0.17, I think, towards the end there. So only a couple of ticks away. I really did not think that that was going to happen at all. When you think about how quickly that trade is that comes through towards the vent position, and for Waro, the slight distraction of just moving away from the double doors, if he would have continued to fight aggressively, Jay, they probably have enough time to get onto that bomb.
Very smart. That's the perfect analogy of don't be a loser, buy a diffuser for Heat. They didn't buy one of that round and forced on the retake. Now down to the very broken force by Deagles, out for Jocko, already overwhelmed by Buzz. Fast rush into the B site and nobody else is here to defend it.
This is so important for X-Mad Lions too, Jay, because we could say, win this round, win the map, and we're going to a third, right?
Well, in theory, it does put you pretty close to the marker. And Heat will not be allowed to break into the match until maybe about 19 or so. Force buy especially, they will save into round 17, so they will have a bonus eco for round 18. Afro at least finds one exit onto Waro, but they're not going to commit to this retake. Again, no kit, again, no time, again, down to the firepower. X-Mad Lions will get to 12, at least they'll make it somewhat expensive.
For Heat, I actually have some faith that they can do some work come the next round because of how many players they're actually surviving into this round. And rather than looking for exits, they're mainly deciding to just hang back. Lucky going to try and see if he can find that extra weapon, but it doesn't look like it's going to come through at all. So 12-5, X-Mad Lions know that it's still going to be a test for these last few rounds. But for Heat, this has to be looked at as your map pick as incredibly disappointing, considering it was 3-3 at one point.
Yeah, they really struggled to get any further than those 3 rounds. 7 in a row for X-Mad Lions to get to 10 before Heat found a few in their T-side line, and then, of course, this CT side has not gotten started in the way they wanted it to. Even though, by all accounts, they should have won that pistol round. AK's in on the offensive line towards Squeaky. Lucky's Julies with nades out. Exercise to lean forward alongside that man. TMB tags so heavily. Lucky gonna look for the opening kill. Indeed gets it. JL responds to that. Julie's still striking back. Body's Mac 10 finds TMB, and Jocko starts to lean in from the ramp control. Body continues aggressing alongside the lobby crunch. A 3-on-3 situation. Afro's caught one. The Mac 10 gets red star, and Heat have found their way in.
That's a perfect strat to call it in. You still got a lot of upgraded weapons saved in from the last round. You go in for a lobby crunch. You try and pull a lot of a distraction away. And for X-Mad Lions, they just get caught flat-footed. They try and retreat. Red Star's not really sure where to look. He's hanging in that lobby ladder. And now for Warrior 2K, the best that he could really hope for is get a bomb plant down to the lower bomb site and attempt the clutch.
He will lean forward towards the double doors, and no players downstairs at the moment. Hear the footsteps of the man walking towards the outside control. He's not inbound from Secret, though. For Warrior, it's a pretty difficult post plant, but at least it can be a plant, and the bonus cash will aid X-Mad Lions in the next round.
Warrior 2K's just got to try and take weapons out of play, put the smoke down. Jocko's coming in quick from ramp.
Bash forward against him, look towards that right-hand doorway. Picking left initially, seeing the prod out, opening the double doors, looks for body, gets that kill. Afro dinks him down, still picked up Waro. Don't do this, man. Don't embarrass them anymore. Than the defuse for Jocko. 10 seconds to it. Gonna hold the line. Waro's not gonna peek fast enough. Not gonna peek fast enough. Think it might all be a ruse. He'll hold himself back, and Jocko will just about win the round for the Heat side. Not all that bad, all things considered. Again, they had a very broken situation, a very broken setup. The fact that round comes together in the first place is a miracle for Heat.
Very clever in from Jocko, because from Warrior's perspective, he knows that if he's tapped it and he's drawing the fight, I'm going to lose because I'm on 29 points of health. The only way I win that round is that if I stall for time, and he does not want to give the information away. He wants to hear that bomb being tapped once, maybe the second time, that's where he starts making a bit of noise, but Jocko just sticks the 10-second defuse, balls are still, and Heat find a 6.
TMB is picked up first by Body here. Forced to invest for the T-side line. Again, that bomb plant bonus. Afro follows suit onto Buzz towards the outside. A 5-on-3, and Heat are starting to come into their own now. opportunities abound and starts to stack up the comeback.
Overextension from Afro should get caught from Waro. Oh no, because one of the teammates gets seen, Afro doesn't swing out all the way.
Nades up. Orb still watching for the cross. The flick does not connect. Leaning back in. Afro with the flash in hand. Try and swing as well. Possibilities are abound here with the credit card position being dominated. A flash will keep him from peeking. X-Mad Lions continue the fight on the outside as lobby is taken by HEET.
A lot of information to work with. Think about the big wrap towards outside, but it's actually the push into Garage. Afro might get forced out to the open.
Does find himself out looking at Secret at the right moment and trying to flip back towards Garage as JL catches him with his head turned away. So the killer's found against the HEET side. Still the advantage for the CTs though. Bodies backstab also being watched by JL. A good read. A 3-on-3. This becomes doable for X-Mad Lions again.
How many times have I seen a 5-on-3 from HEET turn back to a 3v3 within 10 seconds? This is something that has been a characteristic from them across both maps in the series so far. Dust 2 and now Nuke. And for X-Mad Lions, splitting towards the A side. This is theirs for the taking.
17 seconds, and Exercise needs to get JL. Now they will full send it. Lucky on the site. Molotov sent to his position will force him out the way. Warrior's Orb starting to watch the center of the site. Kill not found. M4 engages. Dives down for Red Star. 5 seconds. Got to go for the plant. That's what he'll do. 2-on-2. HEET cannot afford to concede this.
So winnable right now for X-Mad Lions. And even Jocko, how do you force JL into the open?
Can't see him. He has an inkling he might be up there in the corner. Red Star, definitely a known entity. The jump face now going for the wall bangs, and JL will wait for contact for the CTs to prod towards him. Jocko having his eyes set or checked out the closed vent corner. He had his inkling towards rafters, and JL's going to get them both. X-Mad Lions resting on their star man with a quadra, and HEET losing the most important round of their game so far.
5v3 and lobby control, and they lose the round. I don't know what to say, Jay. It's been over-peaking. Like, yeah, you could work outside, but at the same time, do you need to work outside? You've got lobby, you've got Afro playing at credit. Why are you getting on silo? Why are you going for such a ballsy play rather than playing the crossfires, rather than playing the numbers game, and they just got punished?
We saw some of that on Dust 2 with the mid-walks as well for HEET.
Absolutely.
Commonality in this series. Buzz finding Lucky will kick things off with the AKs. A broken investment for HEET. An AWP coming through for Afro. The auto shotgun for Exercise right here on the top of Hut. Hold his position and wait for them to make their move in. Hope to God he can get at least a buckshot or two and try and turn the situation around. Jocko's Deagle, however, looks to fall down. Or with a swing. The kill was found by Jocko, but JL very quick to respond.
Even Red Star's trying to keep eyes towards outside in case there's any aggression to come through. Exercise is not pinned off of angle. Can boost body back up towards heaven if he likes. Afro is finally starting to search outside.
Slow prodding. Trying to bracket in the T-side forces, and this might be the player that they need to bring this back from the brink. Incendiaries to stall, but no one watching ramp, so X-Mad Lions will just walk there.
If this is a dive down to lower, I actually reckon HEET should just save here. 3v4, lack of nades, down by 1 and no kit. How do you retake this? You're so out of position right now.
I think you're right. Well, the shotgun is rotating. Backside plant can still be denied. Afro making a lot of noise here with the AWP into double doors. The smokes come down. Red Star closed off from Decon. Exercise can't do much to defend against that. Retake will be on, and Afro getting real close with those quick scopes. Smoke towards double starts to fade. Exercise starts to back away. The SMG, a body nowhere to be seen either. So I imagine this will indeed be the safe call. HEET tried to hold from passive, but they didn't have their heart set on the retake. Had they got the kill against the bomb carrier, they might have committed. End of the day, it's easy pickings. TMB is found for 1 exit. That's it.
That's a smart call. I like that from HEET. Back off. There's nothing that's going to get gained there. They put themselves in positions where, like you mentioned, if a frag creates itself, then you might have an in. But unless something gets brought forward, you're just going to back off. They're able to upgrade one of the MP9s into an AK. But this is a massively one-sided nuke. And it just comes down to HEET not capitalizing enough on that CT side. We're seeing how good some of the clutches have been. I mean, that's almost a funny statement to me, Jay, when we think about how strong Waro, JL, and Buzz are in clutches, because on Dust 2, it was all HEET, and we've seen a couple of times where X-Mad Lions have been into clutches, but definitely not as many as the Frenchman.
Certainly better clutches in this map than the first map for XMAD Lions.
That is true, yes.
Swung their way, Heat's French side at least locks out the first two in this one. One player has dived down to the vent position though. TMB, we known to that Molotov, trying to grab the AK. The nades towards him are being evaded the majority of the damage. His rifle sent flying, so we might have to go a bit more aggressive to grab it back. Either way, the start for Heat, far better already in this round. But last time we saw a 5-on-3 from them, Dwight, they did lose the round itself, so don't hold your breath.
Yeah, there you go. JL getting the pick onto exercise, and there's a walk outside. No one's watching for it right now, so this could be a kill onto Afro. Yeah, I can see it.
Does fall back a little bit further into heaven. Wara would hear that as well. This is so exploitable. Oh, Wara's going to get him. Wara's definitely going to get him here.
Might go ramp instead.
A body will be exposed in that particular case. Either way, Wara find the kill. Afro seen him. Afro seen him. Falling back, heard the footstep if he didn't. Stalling for time here on the Heat side. Meanwhile, TMB acts towards the B play.
Needs more assistance, though. Being on low HP, needs JL to get into the mix. And what JL's trying to do is just cut a rotate. Roar 2K eventually going to fall. And now JL's going to try and back up his teammate down at lower.
TMB on 16 HP means that JL's got to be the man to do the majority of the heavy lifting. Jocko up close towards double doors. Decon doors, the first one that will open. TMB go for a wallbang spray on the rafters. Jocko's Deagle firing back at the lower bomb site. 15 seconds. TMB's not going to win that fight. JL alone to fall to Heat. Another round to their board.
Couple of steals here or there. In for the Heat side. 2 rounds on the CT side. They need to get a bit of a streak going, though. 7-14 down. You're really up against it all. And we did see against Masonic, it has to be said that they were in a comebacking position. Obviously, the gap was definitely not as large as this, but they were down 12-15 on that third map to bring it forward into an overtime victory to get themselves into the semi-finals today. You start wondering to yourself how much is really left on this CT side, especially when there's a force up on the table.
Orps on 1, 2 AKs in play. Red Star leaning with his towards outside will fire initially with the sprays back from the T-side line to indicate they have force ball. The Eagle shot on body's pretty decent to start things off behind the smoke again, XMAD Lions. Slight pick to open things up, not quite the frag itself. Afro looking in for the AWP as Red Star swings and gets body. That's not the start that Heat wanted here.
They had 2 smokes, they just didn't even use them. Just dry outside. Red Star's looking for a couple. The spray's a little bit awkward. He's seen Jocko, and damage has been done at least.
41 HP for the CT player, and exercise is down permanently. The hero rifle's working well for XMAD Lions. 2 kills for Red Star especially. Orb of Afro trying to trade something, but even he's also been tagged. This is not good for Heat.
Not at all. Lucky down at the lower bomb site can think about making a play up to secret. TMB wants to try and apply some pressure. There is still so much time left to work with to start crunching down on A.
Oh, Red Star with a triple. Out of the 3 frags they've gained, he's got them all. Afro's Orb now to strike, only getting a leg shot on TMB, and JL strikes. Waro to peek back in, decimate Heat, gets a map point on Nuke.
JL again has just been incredible over the course of the first map, dropping 29 kills, 21 deaths, now coming over to Nuke, 25 and 10, and Red Star. We saw it on Mirage previously, where he could have some big moments individually, but right here, he's not only is he being peaked individually, Dre, but it's just dry. There's no flashes, there's no jiggles, and he's just going to dominate 15-7. This isn't even close.
Yeah, this is poor from Heat. So poor. Can forgive the T side for being decimated on, but 2 rounds on the CT half, that's unacceptable. For their own map pick and everything. Oro's Orp. Close towards the outside, does get caught by body, at least that's 1 pick found. But 1 in a round that they need out of 8 to bring the comeback in overtime. I just don't see it happening, Blake.
Slight gap in the smoke when it starts to clear that they hold the aggressive approach, so it's still another advantage to work with. But I think they definitely need to clean up the protocol of having rounds with massive man advantages where they haven't quite closed it. We've seen recovery so often in the second half from XMAD Lions.
JL with his AK set, watching for exercise next. Red Star with a pick on body, really come into his own. JL's caught exercise, lucky. Damage up the first, kill on the second, maintains the advantage for Heat. Another 5v3 situation that's gone awry for the CT side though. Red Star gets another as he adjusts to Afro at the right time. They just can't catch a break.
Oh, this is still so doable. And I like the way that Red Star backs off and eventually realizes 2v2, still got the time to play with, got some util for Buzz. There could be a way that Buzz just puts a lurk smoke into the squeak door and just gets down to the vents to lower.
Lucky wrapping in from the squeaky door itself. Or being watched by Buzz, though. He knew. He just knew. Now it's Jocko alone, hearing the footsteps making their way in from the vent control. Has got to go for the retake. We'll grab that M4 at least, maybe get Red Star as well. But the clutch is still on and Red Star's marking him. Jocko with no kit, no util. And the first T-side player right around the corner from him, the gun barrel seen. Red Star's prepped. Jocko gets the kill. Now down to a one-on-one with the AK. The Molotov comes in a decon and the AWP shot lands. 16-7 for X-Mad Lions. They take us to a third map. Ethan Heat has been wonderfully tested in that last map. Dweg 16-7 decimation against them on their own map pick. And seeing how well Ancient has been going for X-Mad Lions recently, I have to say my faith might have shifted in this one.
But you can't keep changing. You stick with one and you always stay with it. And for X-Mad Lions, you can't doubt them, mate. At any course, in any map, in any series.
Well, that much has been proven to me. I'll give you that at this particular stage. Like, I just think that at some point the magic has got to end. And I don't know if they can really go forward and win the Elisa Invitational, considering who could be on the other side of that grand finals. In terms of this match, though, it feels like it's on. Like, as they mentioned on the desk, far too many mistakes from Heat in that last map, especially. They saw it on Dust 2 as well. The over-aggression constantly punished by the boys over from the X-Mad Lions campus. 16-14 loss on Dust 2 indicates to me that with the one-sided victory on their opposing map pick, X-Mad Lions come into Ancient as the stronger team so far in this series. They mentioned before, straight T-sides was not on this map, which is so uncommon for a lot of teams that play Ancient. And to me, knowing that they used this Ancient to take a victory in Republic a few days ago, to me, I think that this is going to be their winning point now. I think that they have surpassed expectations once again, and that they're on to take this series. Heat have got to do a major job to try and deny it.
I'm with you 100%. I think this is for X-Mad Lions on the taking, and just knowing how many similarities very close, and then the last map was fairly one-sided. I think for the X-Mad Lions side, they've found themselves in a position again where once they get confident and once they get at least a start going, they can put on one-sided performances.
Well, now's the time to step it up here for Heat. They are on the CT side start of things. This will be the half which they need to win out in this map. They're up against the strong T half of the X-Mad Lions side, though, as Woro gets killed off first and foremost. First blood drawn out by Afro in the pistol round. Jocko overwhelmed towards the B side, tagged a little bit lightly, actually, but refacing to lose his life in the end. Lucky gets that one headshot to Red Star on the backside, so a 4-on-3, making it 2 as JL overextends. The bomb can't go down here, but a 2-man advantage for Heat on the retake.
TMB's just got to continue fighting. Same for Buzz. Not really any way out of this post-plant at all. Even the backstab from Afro is going to catch off Buzz. And he felt there for Heat. As soon as they get that pick in towards mid, it shifts the offensive from X-Mad Lions into that B side. JL's trying to take map control, get very aggressive towards long, take further fights on the rotates, end up getting caught off by Body, and just allowing yourself to have a 4v2 on the retake. You're always going to have the Hurley advantage.
And the pistol round gained by the Heat side, a positive start for them. Definitely more positive than X-Mad Lions when they had their pistol basis in the last map. They're going to weigh in to start off the CT side, but they conceded a bomb plant, so there should be an investment here from the XML side.
They've been very solid when it comes to some of their force buys. Get those Galils out, get it into the hands of JL. And just looking at Ancient in the last few victories, we've seen Woro be very impressive, JL too. Even get some very good stuff out from Buzz.
Default set in, very passive from the X-Man Lions side for now. No chance for Scratch to strike back at the interim. Burst fire from Lucky, establishing himself in window. There's no one at the lane position for the T side. It's all outside of A main.
Could just be the AXE, get the smoke down to CT and for Donut and just send it in. Heat have really only got one A site defender directly on the bomb site of Exercise. You can have that quick rotate in from Body. All about being able to pull the distractions. And for Heat, definitely have not been able to manage much of a contact in this round just yet.
Oh, there's Woro with a kill on Lucky. Flash out, spray through from Body, will get thrown off. Then JL strikes on Exercise, Body's down. And how many times have we seen this from X-Mad Lions in this series? 5-on-2 gained, ace side gained. Save's got to be called in from Afro and Jocko.
Really wasn't much to that round either. Gained back the elbow control. The flashes were very decent. Woro 2K was kind of playing anti. Catches off that first player in window. And then you just saw Lucky playing aggressively in Donut. He's just forced out to the open. Can't really see a thing. And then Exercise just getting domed by JL out from that main position. And the T's trying to hunt down with these last couple of CT weapons.
Scout being pressured for Afro, needs to get some X's, needs to try and fall away from TMB's position. Have got Woro on the backstab though, in from ramp. Out to receive the CT forces, and not seeing Jocko yet. I think he's in the gun barrel now. Afro can get caught. Jocko certainly will get caught, but will dish out the damage. Seems like these CTs might just maintain their lives, and he's initially, Jocko gets another good kill, so looks like they will hold on to the never mind, not the M4, but at least the Galil for Afro here. Still a return round, a second round break for a T side.
And just knowing that you're obviously on double eco status and you have to force buy it down, it could have been so much more successful with what you're bringing to the table from HEET if there is those 2 rifles in play. Instead, there isn't. What do they get out of it? Another scout for Afro? He did some decent work with it in the last round. They'll probably want a bit more, though.
Pistols outside of the save rifle for everyone else on HEET means that the foundations aren't there. Again, force invest on double eco status, so you're going to have to go for it. Carefully, they'll prod in from the X-Mad line side. Not sure what to expect. They now know. Exercise. P250 up close, flashing his way back out. Nades in, will try drive him away. Backup is very sparse here on the A side. They've just started to rotate the position now for Afro, especially on the scout. Exercise has seen the bomb. That might call in for even more CT players. X-Man lines are stalled for now.
JL getting that high advantage, and look at this backstab. Good wrap in from TMB. Does get caught off by Exercise, though. The P250 winning an unlikely duel.
Rifle to work with for him, but Waro trades back on the scout of Afro. The Galil bursting through, the AK watching. Buzz gets caught, JL responds. Body will get forced away. 7 HP for JL, he means it's a bit concerning for X-Man Lions. But a 3-on-3, the CZ taps forward past the smoke. Red Star's caught, JL forced to trade back in his own right. Another 2-on-2 as Body just bursts in against Waro's head. Leaves it all on JL to clutch it at 7 points of HP. That's not going to happen, and HEET will clap back.
Back and forth rounds in for both of the teams, and for Red Star, thought that he was just going to get the bomb down with ease. Exercise getting a very important P250 kill. JL trying to get entries down to the side. Body working with a slight gap at the edge of the smoke. That placement not quite there. And then, of course, just the straight spam in from Lucky. Knew roughly where that bomb was going down, and all it took was a couple of bullets to deny it. Forced by back in for X-Mad Lions. So, Jay, how many rounds do you reckon this is going to continue for?
Probably a little bit. I imagine the X-Mad Lions will be able to respond to this 2-2. It depends on whether HEET in the next round will be able to come hold themselves together. That's where I could see it ending in terms of the immediate future, but realistically, it could go on forever. We have seen that in the past. So.
Don't say that, mate. Don't say forever. That's too far down the line. I like 1 or 2 rounds. I like to keep it small. If you say forever, it's just done. It's just scrappy the whole game.
Have to make up a special rule to ensure that we can actually end the match so we can continue with the second semi-final and the grand finals today.
Exactly.
Well, damage done to Waro and TMB, so at least HEET have started things off on the right foot here. No kills found early in the round, though.
A lot of map control. Jocko aggressive down for the bottom of ramp. They're seeing nothing towards lane. And for X-Mad Lions, this small amount of util has to be perfect for them to brew open the doors fights.
Incendiary flash, Buzz sprayed down by Afro. Jocko already found the first kill on Waro. JL trades back on a response of a 4-on-3 situation. The T's charge back into the B site. Lucky's SMG held back behind the K position. JL's flash with a nade back to respond towards Lucky's angle. Will dish out some damage. The Deagle flank in as well. Wallbang attempts will not be quite as lucky for the T side line. Lucky's finally a dead man to TMB, but Exercise trades it, leaving Red Star alone on the site. TMB now coming in from outside of the site. Spray goes a little bit awkward on Body as he tanks the high HP damage, and ultimately the kills come in for the CT forces. They will not allow X-Mad Lions to steal another force buy.
Very close, though, when you think about the HP numbers. Exercise down low, Afro too. Body not even necessary to get a kill into that retake. And the aggressive approach started off wonderfully for HEET. Get a 5-on-3, gets slightly awkward for a moment, especially when JL and TMB get into the mix with a couple of kills. But just knowing that they didn't have enough map control on the side, they find difficulty spreading the offensive once they get the bomb down from the pillar position. And of course, because that reset does come through, that we're not going back and forth with the rounds, it has to be a light eco for X-Mad Lions.
The Eagle's still in for them, though, so firepower is there. Still got the lost bonus into the next round by. HEET, of course, only took 2 players' worth of damage. Had X-Mad Lions got a 3rd pick, they probably would have forced the issue right here. Force things out on their T-side basis, allow a bit of breathing room and a potential to shut down HEET for good here. A good T-side could be enough. X-Mad Lions have proven that in their previous matches.
And there are plenty of head-to-heads on so many of the semi-final teams on the other side of the bracket of who could meet in the grand finals. So it is very important to see who makes it into the right position of what the expected outcome of this entire tournament can be. HEET obviously want to put themselves in that sort of position. They've been there before. They want to go a second time and go aggressive out towards a ramp control. It's decent for a trade of Waro.
Bit awkward from the CT side as they are rushed down, but Afro and Lucky have it on lock. Afro with a nice double up. And Exercise in mid. To close out the last man was that mid control. X-Mad Lions, one player casualty. Not really a mass amount being done to the CT forces, and now the guns can come back on return for X-Mad Lions. Tactical also called in very early for the T side here. Down by 3 rounds, a chance to readjust themselves for the future map.
Saw a lot of Ancient being played from X-Mad Lions when it came to the main Swiss stage in their 5th round game against Blue Jays, being able to get away with a 16-4. Very strong T-side in that one. Against Enterprise, they had a 14-16 loss. Also played it against Sinners in the 1st round of the main Swiss, getting away with a 16-19 loss. So plenty of it to look through. Even when it came back to the contender stage, that's how far the loot really does come from X-Mad Lions. There was more Ancient being popped up there. For HEET, they'll definitely remember what it was like playing at the RMR. Ancient being played in the 2nd map of the series against Astralis in that game to qualify for the major. They took a 14-16 loss. If they would have won that map, that would have won them the entire series.
Tragedy is the result in that sense. Number of teams playing today that had their chance to get to the major, and we'll get into that a little bit later on today. Red Star starting things off for the time being, picking up the first kill against the HEET side. Afro, first to fall.
Just the aggressive approaching from mid now. Even Lucky, Molly going down towards the other side, being smoked off. Could have some breathing room to get aggressive on a bait, though.
Swing, exercises spray, gets Waro. Responding out to the donut position, is trying to stagger the T side for the time being. Molotov sent, swing onto JL, he's low HP, fight onto Buzz, supported by TMB. Lucky at the tail of that banner that was tagged up earlier. The AK of Red Star comes up with 2 though, and Buzz responding to body of his own right. So that's that 2 rounds on the board for the X-Mad Lions side. Finally getting their follow-up after HEET took 4. Money's a little bit awkward for the CT side as well here. They probably should be a buy though.
One thing that didn't get mentioned in that round, Jay, that's a 2v3 recovery coming through from X-Mad Lions. And this has been so common over the course of the day of over-peaking for HEET in situations where they don't need to. They wanted to continue putting pressure down towards window when it was really not necessary, and instead they get denied, and now even the economy situation for them is not ideal at all.
CT side just peeking forward into the mid control to suppress the T side line. You worry every time they go for that aggressive force because, as you mentioned, there has been a common problem. HEET have been punished for these prods forward. Even Afro in here to the lane position could get punished if there was T side players around here. There isn't. Got 1 man in TMB well back of the B doors as Buzz starts prodding out from A main.
Body just holding in quite a passive angle. X-Mad Lions thinking about a regroup potential over to TMB. Knowing that Waro and JL are currently in the top 20 highest rated players of the event, and knowing how solid they've been so far in this series, Jay, you'd imagine that they are going to be the 2 players to continue to keep an eye out for here on Ancient.
JL spotting spray down TMB with the back 10, catches him with a knife in the hand. Training back to a 4-on-4 scenario. And they hold the line here on the CT side.
Look at how aggressive Buzz is, actually. He might get caught by body, because this is quite a big off angle to the back of the site. Actually commits backwards, starts regrouping. I like that. Doesn't go out by himself.
He was waiting for his teammates to arrive anyway. Now that they're here, it's best to form up and go for the execution. 1 smoke, 3 flashes, and Molotov at the helm here for the X-Mad Lions. Body still watching, but TMB, who peeks and loses his head for his trouble. Exercise on the crossfire. Molotovs and flashes sent down towards that temple and lane position. Red Star forced forward against Exercise. Exercise drops that bomb. Now down to 2 players for X-Mad Lions. 10 seconds remaining, and Body with the crossfire alongside Exercise, who swings out for his own double, brings in 5 for HEET.
Just saw for HEET, they have a crossfire very solid towards A. They're able to get mollied off towards that temple angle, but still don't really get too chaotic. Even Afro spots for a fair amount of information with a quick trade back from TMB. Body with that first to keep the man advantage, and then Exercise just holding the angle, slightly strafing towards that right-hand side, and between the 2 of them, they just mop.
X-Mad Lions can't really afford to rebuy here. HEET have done the damage. Kept things under control. Grabbing 3 AKs in that previous round as well, so a lot of firepower to play with. The pistol eco coming back in from the X-Mad Lions. See the Deagles, the Tech 9s, of which the Tech 9 can strike first and foremost. Body down towards mid.
Slightly slow start here on T-side for X-Mad Lions. I'd like to be able to gather a little bit more, and knowing that they've already got a start in the eco round, This at least looks pretty promising. A re-smoke down towards ramp. No one on B as of right now for HEET. Very interesting rotations.
Towards that mid control, leaving lane completely open for X-Mad Lions. And with how far away they are, I mean, I could see a way in which they justify not going for the retake. They will start the rotations back as the pistols extend forward. Buzz being spotted there with the bomb on his back. Lucky now to look towards that long control. JL is extremely low, flashing against him. Could line up two. Him and Moro down. Jocko also caught TMB. Buzz with a swing back. Jocko also caught with the eagle to the head. And a 2-on-2 with a very expensive round so far for the CT side.
Even Red Star's thinking about getting aggressive. Has to try and catch the timing. Exercise. When does he keep an eye on?
Almost turned away at the wrong moment. It's a good thing Red Star didn't swing because Exercise would have been dead for it. Afro now prodding out of the cave entrance. Buzz backed up towards ramp. Fall back into the site. Afro is indeed caught looking the wrong way. Swing out, kill found. Red Star gets away with Exercise, gets away with the AK. Smoke down, Incendiary sent towards the short position. Now they just stick the defuse here. Afro knows he's covered off. No swing in time for the T-side player. He can't catch vision, so he can't catch the round. He will get killed off for it. HEET claims 6.
Unfortunately for Red Star, you've aggressed down towards long and the bomb's not planted for you. You're always going to struggle to be able to work it. And just, you're on low HP too, so you don't really want to fight out into the open. You want to hope that it's being tapped. Well stuck there from HEET on the retake, but it has to be said, that's a very expensive round. And for X-Mad Lions, this is where they can start really capitalizing, especially in the first half, knowing this could be an instant reset. We could force them completely on double eco status, but we have to pick up round 9.
Both teams in with the buy-up right here. Economies both in the toilet for both sides. High potential swing round for both HEET and X-Mad Lions. X-Mad Lions especially because they have got the lost bonus swinging towards their favor. You mentioned that reset. Swing for Jocko. Gets the kill. Sees the second man. Counter flash completely evaded. Red Star swings as well. Warrior gets picked up by Lucky instead. Red Star responds to the man. Keeps the trade game going, but to the man advantage of HEET.
A lot of information spotted, that bomb control being seen. Buzz is hoping the body has a slight overextension from this candle's position. The peak is just for info though.
Prod out body, looks for TMB, sees him. Now is the info that they are prodding to the mid control. It's not to fall away as Exercise extends instead. Could find the flank angle, could just siphon off map control. Or siphon off body from the actual B site. It'll rest on Afro and Jocko to defend the hit.
They've got to have the idea, especially with the CT player going deeper, that there could still be an opening. The AWP's going to watch for it. And Afro is finding so much stronger form here on this last map in the series than previous.
Oh yeah, far better from him. Jocko file suit on Red Star, TMB with 1 trade, but a dink down and 9 points of HP. Probably should fall to the AWP, regardless of the damage being done. Afro ends up with a double. 11 kills so far in this map up for him, and that's far better than he was able to get in that entire last map.
Just thinking the idea that it's been a quiet one overall, 30 kills, 41 deaths, when you compare that to the series against Masonic, where you're dropping 75 when you had such a stellar third map. It does make sense that he's going to come into his own in one of the most important maps of the series to close it out. For X-Mad Lions, they're forced down into a very odd economical state again. They want to half buy it, put a lot of acceleration down to mids.
Smokes in, shots ringing out for Afro's AWP, body with a kill on TMB, Exercise follow suit on Red Star, Afro gets Warro. It all falls apart again for the T side, at least in the mid control. The main lurking and push is a little bit more successful, but without the bomb, it doesn't mean much except for that kill.
Not at all. There is a push coming through from Temple, but Afro still connects the shot. So much more consistency now. And for Buzz, just desperate for any pick back towards Donut to try and take another one of these AKs out of hand. 2 players to peek with. Should be no chance whatsoever. A lot of damage done onto body, but Lucky peeks in 8-2. Very worrying right now for X-Mad Lions, because you think back to the first map, Jay, you're down 4-12. You almost bring it in to an entire map victory at Dust 2. Does not happen. You go into HEET's map pick, it's comfortable, it's breezy, felt like a walk in the park, and now you come into Ancient, and the struggles are back on again.
Well, it is CT side of Ancient, and it's in Elisa where we've seen some of the biggest comebacks in the world on this map up in the past. I'm not ready to count X-Mad Lions out just yet. The concern is definitely there. My bigger question is, where was this HEET throughout the entire last 2 maps? Where were they? Where was this team in the entire series leading up to this point? Because they could have been in a much better position here on this third and final map. They might not even have had to play this third and final map had Nuke gone far better for them. Exercise Picking up Red Star as Body spikes out towards mid. Exercise alone on the A side is going to need some backup to come in real soon. The smoke will suppress the T side, so they won't go for the commitment on the XE. They'll fall away.
Just starting to be forced away, out from the mid control, out from A main, back towards T spawn. You've lost pretty much everything into the round. You've got some util on the pouch, but not a massive amount. And even when the candles peak starts coming through and when Body starts getting more info, Lucky's even got the opportunity of peeking down from window. And I like that he haven't got too overly aggressive because we know what they've been like in these 5v3s.
Swinging, seeing JL, and they'll fall even further back here on the T side line. Jocko extending towards lane will try and fall back himself. Incendiary set. The flashbang from Lucky does not come through. He might go for wall bangs instead. Body also provide support in from the window control. Buzz face in, sees two, gets one. Lucky actually doubles up with that, and JL's left alone.
1v4, players all around. B site stacked up, time is low. Bomb control in the hands of Lucky. Not really much that he can find. Even the peek out towards ramp is not successful. And then you start looking at the XMAD line side and think about some of the individuals, Jay. A lot of players down on 4 kills. No one close to double digits just yet. We need to see the Warro. We need to see JL get Buzz into the mix. Maybe a huge round from Red Star. Some of the individuals that have been so consistent over the course of this entire event and even the last 2 maps in the series, unfortunately, are not coming into the fold on T side.
The thing we've all been saying, the thing we've been repeating, the phrase of XMAD Lions play defaults and have class players. When that class dissipates, what do you have to fall back on is the concern for this team. HEET proved that a little bit in the first half of Dust 2, certainly proving it in the first half of Ancient. Pistols pulled out with the hero AK set up. JL trying to fight onto Lucky. Afro's found the 1-for-1 trade on TMB. Body is the casualty in that T-side exchange. And Lucky will hold close and wait for further aggression.
Buzz trying to get aggressive in towards Donut, get the pace down, but Afro and Exercise are there to just chomp back right in, spot that bomb, realize exactly what's going on.
Afro does lose his life to the hero AK at least, so that's something. And Lucky out trying to trade it, and again the aggression comes through from HEET, punished by XMAD Lions as Warro brings it to a one-on-one. A clutch so winnable for the T side.
Of course, especially with Warro, even the Incendiary is going to slow down the rotate from Exercise, can't speed run through.
How typical is it that a force to a 1v1 scenario has come through because of over-peaking in lane? HEET's main downfall in this series, going to come back to bite them and may end their CT streak. Exercise, no idea where Warro is at, no util to go for the defuse either. Is that the bomb? Look towards the back lanes. Look towards ramp. The flashbang will indicate where he's at, and the kill gets found by Exercise. So they do hold the round just about for HEET, but that got way too close.
Really did, especially when Afro spots the bomb out towards Red Star. You don't need a peek again. He just keeps peeking and peeking and peeking with that AWP towards the Candle's position, and even out towards lane. You mentioned it, Lucky getting aggressive. Jocko does too. XMAD Lions coming close to the punishment. And just knowing how successful HEET have been, while we've been praising XMAD Lions, especially on Nuke, for having more successes in clutches, when we think about all maps across the board, HEET have won so many more clutches than XMAD Lions have.
8 rounds the difference. Nades, damage done. JL tagged to 8, dead to the rights of Jocko. Looking around the corner for Red Star. Great, actually awkward flash timing because it was Afro that threw it, allowing Red Star to get the pick back in against the man. So again, over-aggression punished by XMAD Lions, but Lucky contains the round advantage.
Puts the smoke down, stalls it for any further push forward in towards that cheater control. Afro repositioning with the AWP. Warrior 2K might expect a boost up or try an elevated angle to make a peek back in towards ramp. Very difficult for XMAD Lions now.
Orb still watching for contest. Exercise on the wraparound, rotation in from spawn. Warro does land an Orb v Orb battle onto Afro, so that might be encouraging for the site here. They're going to fall back though, and actually they've read Exercise. Oh, Warro gets this kill and removes the main bracket offensive from HEET. A 3-on-2. And now Body's forced to act.
What a rat play being watched right there from XMAD Lions. And for HEET, that was a 4-on-3 advantage, Jay. Getting slightly too over-aggressive, peeking into the AWP duel. Body's going to start hearing the footsteps, but how much does he get? Needs the multi-frag, drops that bomb, and now Warren 2K is on for the clutch once again. At least he brings it back to a 1v1.
Yeah, body ran out of ammo, but Lucky quickly in towards the mid-control will still deny any potential plant or rotation or round from X-Mad Lions. Another 1v1 clutch going the way of Heat there. And it just stacks up the rounds for the time being. 11-2. Money won't be a problem at this late stage in the half. X-Mad Lions have struggled here on T-side. Not what we were hoping for, I guess. Again, it is Ancient, so poor T-sides can be expected.
No.
But we have seen them do some wonderful stuff on T-side, which is why it is so surprising for X-Mad Lions specifically.
Yeah, I'd have to disagree, because X-Mad Lions have proved, not only in this entire event, but also in their run in Republic, that the T-side differences are not very much at all, and they are very proficient. The issue is, Jay, they're not showing it here today.
Oh, there's a dominating start over on that nuke as well. They bounce back from that loss on Dust 2. Damaged up on the Heat side. JL and Warrow particularly low. TMB trying to lean in, and Body's looking for a whole lot more here. But we'll just prod for info, forcing back from Candles by virtue of the fact that there's not really contact. The AWP missing the shot of Afro, but TMB, similar story.
Just trying to get up to that Widow position. Good spot for information. The bomb to be dropped. Body to even follow up. Now he's got to be careful about over-peaking.
Afro lands his pick back. The bomb's been dropped in mid as well, so the T's have got to fight back, but Afro lands his double. Looking in for the triple. Might even get it against TMB. And JL left in a 1-on-4 to try and clutch this. It's not going to happen.
Can't imagine so. JL just stuck out in the open, already giving the info away, and Afro is just having a sick map here on Ancient. 19 kills and 5 deaths. X-Mad Lions have had a real difficult time of trading Afro and only allowing him to get minimal kills.
20 seconds, there's nothing he can do. Heat will get to 12. X-Mad Lions in trouble. 13-2 half at this stage. Of course, the AK exit. This gets one player at the drop, but it won't mean much towards the T side. It won't mean much to the CT side either. 3 players to look alive. Cash will be flowing into the bank. And the hunt after time even comes through to completely wreck the buy for XML.
He putting on a very good performance in that round. And it comes to Afro from Donut. Over-peaking, there's 2 ways that you can look at it. The idea of he's very confident and he's connecting his shots. The other way is, geez, that's ballsy. That's maybe too overconfident. But if you've got the ability to back it up and you've got sequences like that, you can't really slide it off. 12-2 for Heat. And for X-Mad Lions, they really wanted JL to stay alive. Was not possible at the end of the last round.
1 AK in the last round of the half. X-Mad Lions fight hard to get something in the turn of the half. Get that 3rd round at least, try and give them the pistol buffer. The M4s, the AWP leaning in. Already Jocko's burst forward, get the kill and the second. Leaning in for more as Lucky's aggression also comes through. And for once, it's not punished on Heat. A 1-on-5 for Buzz. Looking for the 13-2 half for the Frenchman. It seems like it's all but an eventuality. All 5 alive. What a dominating start in this map.
And this is the Heat that I remember seeing at conference. The Heat that was able to qualify to EPL. Not the Heat that did not win a map in ECL playoffs and lost to Saw. Lost to Entropic, that struggled against Masonic, that nearly lost that best-of-3 series. And this is why we've been in a very difficult floater of where we judge Heat. Because since coming back from LAN and in the online tournaments, they have not been at top form at all. I don't even think they've been close to it. And they definitely were not at that in map 1 or in map 2. But come here in map 3, I think this is the closest glimpse that we've had of that form as of yet.
And so much so that you were coming into this series saying this is going to be X-Mad Lions' victory. This is the Heat we expected to see in ECL. This is the Heat we expected to see against Masonic. This is the Heat I hope to see against this team here in X-Mad Lions, and it's the team that we're getting here in the final map of the series. Not been like this throughout the entire matchup.
Exactly. I mean, you take the scoreline of map 1 and in map 2, this could have been a 2-0 for X-Mad Lions. And how disruptive would that have been? Because we would then have not have even had a competitive Heat to show us a 3rd map, because they wouldn't have even been here.
How one clutch going against them could have impacted things, how this series could have been so different.
How JL having his headset working may have actually let that clutch come through.
It's things like that you think about. It's like, what if?
Honestly,
What if?
he had a near 1v4 when his headphones weren't even working.
Third tactical called in, 2 off the back-to-back for X-Mad Lions. The cool bet odds have them as heavy underdogs to win this map.
Makes sense.
1.01 to 13 on the money line, which definitely would yield ridiculous returns if they brought in this comeback. The question is, how likely is that, Dwight? 11 rounds to the difference. Need the pistol, need the conversions, need every rifle off the back of that. It's not going to be easy.
Not at all. And even for HEET, out of the gates, very aggressive. Could just be the set play in towards A. They've got some util to follow for both Lucky and for Afro. And it comes down to the initial defense. What can Red Star find in Donut?
USP holding for bars, smokes down, force forward, it's Jocko, caught first, headshot down, exercise, quick swing round of the 180, gets the trade back to a 4-on-4, gains the sight, the bomb should go down from here.
So much aggression coming through, Warrior to drop. They've actually faked the bomb, they want to draw some further fights.
They will get them for it. JL, however, clapping back to a 2-on-2 situation. The T-side players are low, particularly Lucky, who grabs that bomb and gets out of dodge. Red Star's marked by Afro, who gooshes and frags, gets his 2K, and gets the pistol for HEET. The end is nigh for X-Mad Lions. The magic might have run out now.
Seems to be. And what a way to end it out in disappointment that it would be.
Yeah.
This could potentially be the last best-of-3 series. We see X-Mad Lions playing together as a full 5. And for them to put up as much of a showing on map 1 and in map 2 to get absolutely stomped out of the water on map 3 would be such a letdown to all the happiness that we've seen in the last week or so.
And they have been on top of the world, the X-Mad Lions. So many upset victories, 6-match win streak may be about to come to a close here against HEET. After they dominated their way through on Nuke and kept it close on Dust 2 as well. We felt like it was going to carry on. That has not ended up being the case here on Ancient, as HEET look fired up, ready to take their spot in the grand finals, it seems.
Seems very likely to come for a second time in a row. Warrior 2K to hold, to defend from the donut position. Even TMB with that shotgun wants to hold the pistol because he wants a little bit of extra range.
Damage to Warrow, does get away with an eagle shot to the bomb carrier body with a responsive TMB and JL. Now on the backstab here towards the main control for the Deagle. I think he's been heard, been marked. Both kills come in, 15-2. Match and semi-final point for HEET now. X-Mad Lions have to force the bye and bring up 13 rounds in a row to overtime.
And just knowing that JL coming into this map had dropped 55 kills, 32 deaths, averaging a 1.46 rating, so much consistency, top of the board, map 1 and map 2. He's down at only 10, the only player to get double digits for X-Mad Lions. And for HEET, it has just been Afro, Body, Lucky, Exercise, Jocko, all 5 of them finding so much form here on Ancient.
The Eagles and FAMASes for X-Mad Lions. Hoping that they can find a way forward, but no. Lucky puts down TMB. JL with a re-smoke up will try stop them, stall them, do anything to stop this from turning over to 16. Damage will be done in minimal amounts for the wood wall, but the first frag has gone the way of HEET. There's no trades for XML.
And knowing that it's a heavy B stack, an information play and a good mid-round call is going to be vital here for HEET to not run into the trap at all. Jocko's waiting for some aggression and it might just come.
Flash in, spray through on the Galil, dishing out some damage to the CT side as they force forward. A counter flash in from the T's, now lean forward. It's Buzz, caught the 17. Body attacking in from Cave, trying to overwhelm them, trying to get another frag back to burst into the B site. A might end up being the play, but the bomb's basically committing here. And now JL has dropped, down to a 5-on-3. Red Star swinging in for more, will try and grab that rifle once again. Warren's trying to pick in mid, meanwhile. The rotations will be cut off, but HEET will go there anyway.
This seems to be the right play. Body's getting a lot of space out towards the A site. The bomb's going to follow too. Warren spotted it. That's good information at least.
That's the AK. Afro will try to cover them off. Get the kill on Warrow. 2 Deagles left to clutch it. Buzz, 17 HP, might get cut off here in mid. Into spawn he'll go. Red Star's being watched from window. Burst upon. Afro closes in, sees Red Star, sprays it to 4, dead to Jocko. Buzz in the 1v4, and the magic has indeed run out against the X-Mad Lions. The joy of victory turns into the sting of defeat. HEET make their way into the Elisa Invitational Grand Finals.
Two best of threes back-to-back against Masonic and now up against X-Mad Lions, both going the distance, both going 3 maps. They get the job done, Jay, and what a recovery. After we see what happened on map 2, HEET come into their own on Ancients.
And it's disappointing for X-Mad Lions, but ultimately in the grand scale of things, they shouldn't even have been here, Dweg, to get a trophy in this week. And to make it to the semi-finals, another one, you got to give them the credit. The dead team continues to roll on, and it might be their last match, but they can bow out with grace.
HEET's master plan, it comes with a couple flaws, but it excels and goes through. It's going to be HEET into the grand finals, and they will be dropping out X-Mad Lions.